Yeah, the last setting was April the.
Alma, are you on yet? I'm gonna make you a call so you can help me out. I want to make you a call.
No, he said he hired Mr. Long.
Raquel, were you able to let the jail know about the inmates that were being reset?
Yes, Judge, I sent an email, Your Honor.
Okay. So before we start calling the docket, are there any agreed resets? Agreed resets, defense attorneys?
Your Honor, Joe Rubio, I have an agreed reset with Mr. Thompson.
Do you know which docket?
You're unmuted.
It's Your Honor, it's a 406
All right, hold on a sec.
and it's Juan Vela.
That's Juan Ramon Vela, right?
Yes, sir.
Three cases?
Yes, sir.
Oh, four, wait, hold on. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases. 6, 7, 8, 3 pages. All right. Do you want, are we doing a quick turnaround on this, Mr. Rubio,
We
or?
probably need a couple of weeks, Your Honor. We're almost close to a plea on this. I spoke to my client this morning and we may just need to tweak it a little bit, but I'd like to set it up for a plea if we could.
What about, well, we have the 5th of May or the 12th?
Let me have the 12th, Your Honor.
Okay, that's
If I
going to be
could,
with Judge Lopez at 1:30.
It's May the 12th?
At 1:30.
Yes, sir. That's all I have. May I be excused?
Thank you, Mr. Rubio. Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else has agreed resets?
Your Honor, Guillermo del Barrio here. I
Which
have two
doc-
cases, Your Honor.
which doc- What?
Both on the 49th, Your Honor.
Okay, first one is?
I believe it might be
Osvaldo?
Jesus Escalon. It's for, or Osvaldo Trevino as well, Osvaldo Alberto Trevino.
Okay, what are we doing with Osvaldo Alberto Trevino?
Your Honor, in this particular case, I do have a tentative agreement with Mr. Thompson. I did speak with my client. He is basically in agreement. It's a time to serve offer. He's been in custody. I believe there was just some question, and I don't know, maybe I wasn't able to get the plea agreement because just a quick question that we may ask because we just revoked his bond, but Mr. Thompson was in agreement to have the time that he's been in custody at Webb County count towards his time, but I don't know if the court has that jurisdiction or not. And if not, we were gonna work a different deal possibly.
Well, how many days do you need? A week or 2 or 3?
No, I mean, I think a week would be fine.
Okay, so you'll be
A
with
week,
Judge,
2 weeks at the most.
what, you need to tell me now so I can reset it.
2 weeks, perfect. Your Honor.
Okay, on May 5th with Judge Palomo at 8:30 in the morning.
That'll work. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr.
And the
Del
second
that would
case,
be, that would be for a plea, Mr. Del Barrio?
yes, it's gonna be a plea.
Okay, thank you.
And the second case is the MTR with Jesus Escalon.
Okay,
If we can get the same date, that would work, Your Honor. I have already spoken with my client as well and provided the offer to him. So we just need a final hearing date if possible.
Okay, we'll give you the same day at 8:30 for a final MTR.
Okay, perfect.
What day was that,
That'll
Alma?
definitely
This
work.
is Pedro Guajardo. What day was that?
May 5th. at
May the 5th.
8:30 in the morning.
Thank you.
Is that it, Mr. Del Barrio?
That is it, Your Honor. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Thank you.
Judge
Anyone
Garcia,
else? Have a great
this
day.
is Russell
Bye,
Jordan.
bye-bye.
I have an agreed reset with Ms. Claudia Sandoval. We've submitted an agreed motion for continuance on the matter. It's on the 341st docket. My client's name is Luis Alberto Agredano, sir. We're asking for at least about 60 days. We're trying to get this case together, and I don't believe the state knows where the victim is. So she's in agreement to the 60-day pass, sir.
All right, let me just find it here on the page.
Your Honor, if I may, he's on page 1, and I did call his office and advise Melissa, is that her name, your secretary? I
Garcia.
informed her that, yes, it was granted, and I gave him May 18 at 8:30 a.m. Do you want a later date?
If we could, yes, please. We'll need it.
Okay, it's June 2nd
Perfect.
Okay.
That'll be perfect. Thank you so much, miss.
At 8:30, June
at
2nd.
8:30.
Thank you, sir.
All right, any other agreed resets?
Your Honor,
Okay, Mr.
Yes.
Trevino?
I have Ramiro Izaguirre. There's a couple of things that I need to do. I don't know what the prosecutor is wanting to do on this. I was hoping he would want to dismiss it.
Well, which docket are you on, Mr. Trevino? I don't know if we can handle that right now, but
Oh, criminal case?
yeah, which docket? 49th, 31st?
No, 406.
Name of the defendant?
Izaguirre Ramiro.
Ramiro Izaguirre?
Yes, sir.
I have this set for a plea.
Yes. Well, he's been in jail, and I do have the information here. It just hasn't been signed. I haven't gone to the jail because of health reasons.
Well, I mean, we're set for a plea. You're not going to be able to do the plea today is what you're telling me.
That's correct, Judge.
So by default, but you do have a plea, so we can set it for a plea
Yes, later on.
later on, like in 7 days or in 14 days?
3 weeks, Judge, because I need to go see him, and it's.
All right, I want to set you on the May 12th docket with Judge Lopez at 1:30.
Okay,
Your Honor, if I may, Omar Salinas from the Public Defender's Office. We're appointed to one of the cases for Mr. Ramiro Izaguirre.
Oh, okay.
I believe the issue is that Mr. Trevino is not on the attorney wheel, so they're keeping us on for that case. However, I believe his cases are going to resolve our case, so we're just asking if we could have the same date.
Okay, so on page 2, on page 1 and 2, just so we're clear, then we're going to reset all of the cases for Ramiro Izaguirre
Okay.
to May 12th at 1:30 p.m.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hold on, let me get, all right. So jail, we don't need to bring out Mr. Izaguirre.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any
Judge.
other agreed resets, Mr. Trevino?
Yes. Judge, I have Alejandro Vela,
On which docket?
criminal and 406.
Yeah, it's all criminal today. 406, Vela. Alejandro Vela,
Yes, sir.
set for arraignment.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Your Honor, if I may, Omar
Yeah.
Salas from the Public Defender's Office. Mr. Trevino has, I believe, 3 of his cases, and the new arraignment, I'm not sure if they appointed us, but I think it's likely they're going to, unless Mr. Trevino is going to get appointed or was retained.
Well, I'll go ahead and take it regardless, so I can work them all out together.
Well, he's got 1, 2, wait, hold on. I've got a Juan Ramon Vela and a Juan Vela. Is that the same defendant? Let me check.
No.
Shoot.
Page 4 and 5 in the 406 docket, Judge.
Yeah, I may inadvertently got. I'm sorry. Okay, again, Alejandro Vela is your client, right?
If he belongs to the public defender, I'd like for the court to assign him to me. Whether appointed or whatever, I'd like to work them all out together.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, oh, it was Mr. Rubio represented Juan Vela and not Juan Ramon.
That's the same individual, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. All right, and then Alejandro Vela, you're already listed as the attorney of record for 3 of the cases.
Yes.
And then, yeah, it's not showing anyone here, but I'm gonna put Armando Trevino.
Your Honor, Carlos Parra for pretrial services. We're going to appoint Mr. Trevino.
Yes, go ahead and appoint him to that 4th case, which ending in 169D4.
Will do, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your Honor, if I
So, which date are we giving this, Mr. Perez? Mr. Salinas, you were going to say something?
Well, I was just going to ask, Your Honor, if Mr. Trevino is going to get appointed to this new case, if they could do the same for Mr. Ramiro Izaguirre, appoint him to that case. So he has all the cases, Your Honor.
That's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah, pretrial services is going to already preparing the order for the one ending in 169. On all the other 3, he's already listed as the attorney of record.
Your Honor, yes, and that's correct. The reason that the reason that on the 169, he did not have an attorney was because I had not interviewed Mr. Vela. I actually called Mr. Trevino's office to verify if Mr. Trevino was retained attorney on that one. I believe the assistant couldn't confirm at the moment, but they stated that more than likely he was going to get retained. So that's why I did not speak to Mr. Vela, and there's no verification if he qualifies or not. And then on another note, Mr. Trevino is not on our court-appointed list.
Oh, I feel discriminated, Judge.
Yeah, and rightfully so, Mr. Trevino. But okay, look, he's already got 2 cases on. Look, as far as Mr. Vela goes, he's already handling the other 3, so he can pick up that one. And on Mr. Izaguirre, the only one that he's not listed as the attorney of record is the one ending in 479D4, which
Correct, Your Honor.
So, I mean, one of two things, I mean, either just file a notice of appearance, Mr. Trevino, on the
Yes.
Izaguirre and the Vela.
Just for my own safety, can I have the case number for Bella and Izaguirre?
Okay, on the one for Izaguirre, the cause number is 2021 CRH 000479 D4. So you're gonna sub in on that one, and then on the Vela case, you're gonna sub in on 2022 CRD 169 D4. 169 D4. 2022 CRD 169 D4.
Okay, I'll file that shortly.
All right, and that'll take care of that.
Your Honor, I have Segura in a civil case. In the 406, it's a civil case. I don't know.
No, I'm not handling the civil docket today. You need to log into Judge Hale's
Okay,
Zoom ID.
so do I get out of here and go somewhere else?
Do you have anything else pending with us?
No, just the Segura case.
Judge, may I?
Yes,
When is the reset date for Alejandro Vela?
I thought I mentioned the 12th of May, 1:30.
May 12, 1:30. Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're good to go, Mr. Trevino.
Pardon?
You're good to go.
Okay. Well, how do I get back to Judge Hale?
You need a lot. You just leave my meeting and type in Judge Hale's meeting.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right.
May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Trevino.
May God bless and protect all of us, Judge.
All right. Thank you. I'm sure you will. Maybe you won't get discriminated.
Hopefully.
All right. Anyone else has agreed resets?
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
this is start with the Public Defender's Office. On the 341st docket on page 2, David Javier Diaz. If we can schedule it for next week, Your Honor, the 27th. I know that's when Judge Palomo has her next in custody docket.
No, she has it on the 5th. Judge Hale has next week on the 27th.
We can do it for the 5th, then, Your Honor.
May 5th?
Yes, please.
And that's going to be for a plea?
Possibly, yes. We can set it for a plea on the 5th.
All right, that's going to be 8:30 in the morning. Any other agreed resets?
That'll be it. Thank you,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
thank you so much. Any others? Any other agreed resets before we start deferring to the jail? All right, who do we have on the second floor?
It's gonna be Miguel David Cos, 49.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I represent him.
He's on page 5, Judge.
All right, hold on a sec. It shows that we're set for a plea, Mr. Sosa.
Yes, Your Honor, I just need to finish the paperwork and submit it.
What, you're not ready to go right now then?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Cos?
Yes.
Okay, it looks like you haven't, sounds like you reached an agreement with the district attorney's office regarding your case.
I haven't spoken to nobody. They haven't told me nothing.
Well, apparently your attorney has an offer for you to take to you. It sounds like it's an offer he thinks you're going to like.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, he's gonna get out of jail.
You think you might like that, Mr. Cos? Okay, all right. So how many days do you need? 7?
Whatever the court can give me.
Well, we have the 27th or the 5th.
27th is fine.
Okay, so Mr. Cos, your attorney has to go see you so you can look over the documents and sign them before you can plea out. But it sounds like he's reached an agreement that you might enjoy. So you'll be back in court in 7 days, okay? All right, good luck, sir. That's 427 at 1:30.
And the passcode is 528807.
Your Honor, up next on the 49, Oscar Miguel Montiel.
Page 2, Judge.
Page 2.
Judge Jose Arce, good afternoon, Judge. On behalf of Mr. Montiel, this is going to be a plea, Your Honor, hopefully.
I know I don't have any plea packages from the 49th. Did you submit one, Mr.
We
Arce?
actually dropped it off this morning, Judge, with the DA's over at the DA's office for Mr. Thompson.
What's he pleading out to?
He's going to plead, Judge, to a lesser included possession of marijuana, Class A.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes, Paul Thompson here, Your Honor. I received the packet after returning from the grand jury and asked my legal assistant to file it. I'm not sure if it's been filed yet, but it's on its way.
Well, is it a time to serve or probation, Mr. Arce?
It's time to serve, Judge, with credit. He's got all the credit already.
Did you e-file it, Mr. Thompson?
Mr. Martinez, my legal assistant, was tasked with that responsibility. I'm assuming it's been filed. Hoping.
Thompson was at grand jury duty, so he was out until a little while ago. Any reason? I mean, we can probably muddle through it, can't we?
It hasn't been e-filed, Judge.
Oh,
Your Honor, if we get just if we could just get a recall on it, I'll go talk to my legal assistant right now to make sure it's been e-filed.
Judge, I don't know if that's possible since they're bringing them in from the second floor.
yeah, the problem is that they've got a rotation set in it.
Judge, I guess it might have been my fault, Judge. I would like to take care of it today, Judge, if we could, because it means Mr. Montiel is getting out today, hopefully.
Well, that's what I was saying. If you guys tell me which counts he's pleading to, you have copies in front of you, don't you?
Judge, it's just a one count, possession of marijuana. He's charged with the state jail. It's going to be reduced to a Class A, same thing, possession of marijuana. And he's pleading to 65 days. With credit, he's got 70 already.
So 65 days to serve?
Exactly. 65 days county time with credit. He's got 70 days.
Mr. Montiel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you understand English?
Can you explain it to me on both?
Well, yeah, we have an interpreter, pero tu abogado me está diciendo que tienes un arreglo con el fiscal donde el arreglo es que están pidiendo que te dé una sentencia de 65 días, que ya los cumplidos, y si lo hacemos hoy, puede salir mañana. O hoy, posiblemente.
Okay.
I don't, I mean, do we actually have, I mean, if the documents are on their way, we can plead them out.
Your Honor, I have no objection to it. It's 65 days. He served the time. It should be in your mailbox, so to speak.
No, I mean, I usually sign them afterwards anyways, so let's go ahead and get him sworn in and we'll go through that. Is the interpreter ready?
I am ready.
Okay, Mr. Montiel, I'm gonna ask you to do this, and if you do not understand my question, ask for the interpretation, okay?
All right.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Do you solemnly swear testimony you give in this cause now on trial is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
¿Jura usted que la declaración que está a punto de dar en este juicio será la verdad, toda la verdad, bajo el amparo de Dios?
Sí.
Thank you.
Sí, me declaro culpable.
Okay.
One question at a time, Mr. Montiel.
Yeah. Did you get his initial answer? Do we interpret that into English? Okay, let's do it again. I'm gonna swear you in first, Mr. Montiel, okay?
Señor Montiel, a usted se le va a poner bajo juramento primeramente.
Do you solemnly swear testimony you will give in this cause now on trial is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
¿Jura usted que la declaración que está a punto de dar en este juicio va a ser toda la verdad, solamente la verdad, bajo el amparo de Dios?
Yes.
Thank you.
Voy a bajar la mano, Mr. Montiel.
Okay, is your true and correct name Oscar Miguel Montiel?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're here with your attorney. It's my understanding you have an agreement with the district attorney's office. Is that your understanding?
Usted está aquí con su abogado y entiendo que usted ya tiene un acuerdo con su abogado. ¿Es eso correcto?
Yes.
You can put your hand down.
Puede bajar su mano.
Okay. Have you had enough time to discuss your case with your attorney?
¿Ha tenido suficiente tiempo de hablar con su caso con su abogado?
Sí.
Yes.
Have you been satisfied with the services he's provided?
¿Y usted ha quedado satisfecho con el servicio que él le ha brindado?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is there anything that prevents you from understanding what we're doing here today?
No, Your Honor.
And in the agreement that they're going to present to me, that you signed, did you sign that with your attorney, and did he explain what was in that agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and I'm going to cover some of the rights in that agreement that you're giving up if we go forward today. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. The first right is that you have the right to remain silent. You don't have to plead guilty. You have the right to have a jury hear your case. And you also have the right to have a jury assess your punishment. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also, if there are witnesses against you, you also have the right to ask them questions at trial. Do you understand you're giving up that right too?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if I go along with the agreement that you have with the state of Texas, with the district attorney's office, you cannot complain about that punishment unless you get special permission from this court. Do you understand that? Okay. And I have to ask everyone this question. Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
And even though you're telling me you are a U.S. citizen, I have to tell everyone, if you are not a U.S. citizen, pleading guilty could subject you to deportation. You could be denied reentry, and you could be denied the right to become a U.S. citizen. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Also, I have to warn you about the range of punishment for someone who is sentenced or found guilty and sentenced for a Class A misdemeanor in the state of Texas. The maximum punishment is 1 year and a fine of $4,000. Did your attorney explain that to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And so, knowing all these things, do you want to go forward with a plea of guilty today?
Yeah, I'm pleading guilty.
Okay. And Mr. Arce, does the defense waive formal reading of the indictment?
Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Montiel, you were initially charged with a state jail felony, but count one, you're going to plead to a lesser included offense, a Class A misdemeanor in the state of Texas for possession of marijuana. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Voluntarily.
Has anybody forced you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and aside from the agreement that you have with the state of Texas, with the district attorney's office, did anyone promise you anything else?
Huh?
Aside from the agreement you have with the district attorney's office, did anyone promise you something else for pleading guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and are you pleading guilty because you're accepting responsibility for the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Thompson, state's exhibit, is the state going to offer state's exhibit number 1 into evidence?
1 and 2, Your Honor. Yes.
And 2, any objections, Mr. Arce?
On behalf of Mr. Montiel, Judge, we have no objections to states 1 or 2.
My apologies. It will only be a 1. This is a 49 plea.
All right, exhibit 1.
And that's fine. No objection to 1, the states 1.
Exhibit 1 will be admitted. Okay, Mr. Montiel, I've admitted exhibit number 1, and based on your testimony, I'm going to accept your plea of guilty. I find that it was made voluntarily. And I'm going to also approve the agreement that you have with the district attorney's office and sentence you to the lesser included offense, which you were found guilty of, the Class A misdemeanor, and sentence you to serve 65 days in the county jail. You will be given credit for time served. And as your attorney explained that you've served more than that, so you will be released sometime today. Are there any court costs and fees assessed?
Our cost is gonna be $415, Judge.
15?
Yes, that's
And
correct.
any attorney's fees?
No, just the court cost, Judge.
All right. And that'll be approved. Anything else in the agreement, Mr. Arce?
No, Your Honor. Obviously, other than the credit, and I did confirm this morning, Judge, with the jail, he's got 70 days as of today.
Okay. So he doesn't need to report then to probation. Probation, you don't need him for anything?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Montiel. Can you hear, where's Mr. Montiel?
Here, Your Honor.
Okay. They're bringing me, I'm going to sign off on your plea today, okay, but it may not be processed till tomorrow morning, so you have to be patient. There's a slight chance you'll get out today, but more than likely it'll be tomorrow, okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
All right, good luck going forward. I hope I don't see you in this situation again, all right, Mr. Montiel?
Okay, Your Honor.
Your Honor, those are all the matters that I have before the court this afternoon. May I be excused, Judge?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Arce.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah. Your Honor, 49, Andrew Jean Courtois.
Page 7, Judge.
Your Honor, for the record, Fausto Sosa.
The court calls 2018 CRM 1425B1, the state of Texas versus Andre Jean Courtois.
Yes, Your Honor, we have an agreement for probation. We're doing the paperwork. If the court can give us the earliest setting, he will be ready.
We have April 27th.
That's fine, Your Honor.
7 days at 1:30 p.m.
For Your Honor?
What? No, before Judge.
It'll be with Judge Hale Fausto at 1:30. It's gonna be a plea?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Couture, did you get all of that?
No, sir, I'm sorry.
Looks like your attorney has reached an agreement for the indicated probation, but the paperwork hasn't been completed. So you're going to be back here in 7 days for your plea on the motion to revoke. Okay? It sounds like this case will be done next week. All right? Good luck, sir.
Your Honor, 49, Alejandro Santos, inglés, español. Inglés, perfect.
Judge Alejandro Santos is a writ.
Okay. Let me call the case. On what page is he on?
It's that page that Mariel gave you.
Oh,
It's another docket.
the add-on?
No, it's by itself.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Oh, here it is. The court calls 2022 CBJ 458 D1 in the matter of Alejandro Santos.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Annalie Vargas for the Public Defender's Office.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
And
we're here on just a 17-151 writ, Your Honor. Mr. Santos had several charges, burglary of vehicles and credit card, debit card abuse, unauthorized use of a vehicle, theft. My understanding is that he was indicted on 2, but even those 2 charges, which one was a burglary of a vehicle, state jail felony, and the other one was a theft, state jail felony, he was indicted about 3 days after the 90 days had expired. My client really can't afford any bond. He's indigent. He's been appointed to our office. He has no money saved up. So at this point, we're asking the court under 17-151 for him to get a PR bond on the charges he's being held on, Judge.
Good afternoon, Judge Ana Garza for the state.
what's your response? I think the public defender's office, I've had this come up before, and I don't think you can.
Judge, yes, Judge, if I may, Mr. Santos is in custody for 18 charges. He did commit those offenses from December 22nd, 2021 to January 10th, 2022. And they are all burglary of vehicles and theft of property that have been enhanced due to his prior convictions. At this time, he has been indicted on those cases, and although he is, I know we don't object to a reasonable bond at this time, he's not required to be given a PR bond at this time, and a reasonable bond is required at this time. But we would object to any kind of a PR bond due to his history of burglary of vehicles and theft and credit card abuse as well. And the time at this time on his other cases that he has pending before the court, I believe it's in the 49th District Court, it is a time to serve offer, Judge. And so at this time, we would object to a PR bond.
May I respond to her response? Yes, Your Honor. Since it's under 17-151, his history, the charges and whatnot are not factors that the court really considers. It's a reasonable bond under the case law is what my client can afford because the state is not ready. And since my client has absolutely no money, Judge, that's why we're asking for the PR bonds.
So,
yes, Judge, and the safety of the community is also a factor, Judge. And considering he is has history of burglary of a vehicle, we would oppose to a PR bond at this time.
Just going forward, so the DA's office can be prepared in the future. Mr. Trevino provided me some case laws after last week's hearing on a writ of habeas corpus. And the standard is that the burden falls on the district attorney's office to produce some evidence by preponderance, and a subsequent arrest cannot be used in and of itself as evidence that he is continuing threat. Not that I disagree with you, but I think my hands are tied on this. How many counts does he have, Ms. Vargas?
Let me go to the order, Your Honor, so that I can let you know.
Did you provide an order?
It should have been filed there, Your Honor. I'm looking at one. Well, I had one earlier here in the file. So he has, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 counts for burglary of a vehicle with 2 or more previous convictions.
No, just give me the total number of counts that he has.
So 17.
I'm going to set a $2,000 PR bond on all 17 counts, but they're going to be through pretrial services, and Mr. Santos is going to be required to report in bi-weekly, every 2 weeks.
Okay, Your Honor.
Yeah, Mr. Santos, pretrial services is going to let me know if you don't report every 2 weeks. And that will be a basis for me to revoke these bonds. Do you understand? And you will not be given this opportunity again. I'm not happy that I have to do this, but that's the decision of the court. Make sure that you get the order in, Ms. Vargas.
I will, Your Honor. And, you know, just to be clear, through pretrial services, they still charge a 3% fee. And I know that he wouldn't be able to afford that. I have seen the court, because of that, order those fees be waived. I've spoken to pretrial services, and that type of wording would have to be on the order. I can send an order with that language if Your Honor.
Yes, I mean, I'm going to require it. The court will waive the fees. I forgot about that.
Yes, Your Honor. And reporting every 2 weeks, right?
Every 2 weeks. Mr. Parra, you're there?
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes. Oh, hey, Valerie, how you doing?
Good afternoon, Judge Valerie with pretrial. It's going to be my case, Judge.
It's going to be your case?
Yes,
So
Your Honor.
you know how to get a hold of me. If Mr. Santos steps out of line, I need to hear about it.
Yes, Your Honor. Just to verify, Judge, is it 17 counts or 18? I counted 18 on the jail manager.
Ms. Vargas said 17. If it's 17, it's 17. If it's 18, the order is 18. And the fees are being waived on all of them.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have any questions, Mr. Santos, or they take them out already? Mr. Santos? Okay. Do you have any questions about my instructions when you get out?
No, sir. I understand. I need to report to where, to quick trials or to court where I don't understand.
And more importantly, you need to stay out of trouble.
Judge, if I may,
Yes.
could we just ask that the jail not release him until he's processed?
Yeah, I won't have the order for a while, but that'll be granted. In other words, whoever's taking out notes for the jail, just keep him in there until pretrial has an opportunity to process him. We're not talking about anything later than tomorrow, right?
Hey, Ron, look at that.
Okay, make sure he stays in there until pretrial services season.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Valerie. Next case.
Thank you.
Under the fourth floor, 406, Carlos Alberto Molina. Carlos Alberto Molina.
On page 1, Your Honor, of 406.
Got it. The court calls 2021 CRM 1260D4, State of Texas versus Carlos Alberto Molina.
Omar Salinas for Mr. Molina, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Salinas. And Mr. Molina, do you understand English?
Yes, my honor.
Okay. What do we hear for Mr. Salinas? So shall we hear for a final pretrial?
Well, Your Honor, we had informals back in February, and I was unable to get in contact with Mr. Molina. I tried calling the numbers that were on the Odyssey. So I've had no contact with him. We're asking if we could just have maybe a 2-week reset to give me an opportunity to meet with him and to discuss the case with him, and then to negotiate with the state. There is an offer that the state gave through the informal. I just haven't been able to convey that to him.
Well, I can give you 2 weeks, but in 7 days, you'll be in front of Judge Hale. It's his case.
I think the 2 weeks should be fine, Your Honor. And if
Okay.
in the meantime, I may negotiate with the state for an agreed PR bond or a bond that we can set, and making it easier for this whole process. Unless the courts can grant a PR bond at this time, which I don't think they'll.
No, he wasn't on the list. In case you defense attorneys, we need to know ahead of time, because I'm required to review what they're calling the public safety report prior to any bond settings, and I don't have that. So the answer is no.
Your Honor, if I may, are we required to file a motion now with certain information on it?
Yes, I mean, we're implementing the best system we can do right now, and the best way to ensure the criminal history is to file a motion.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, this is just an adjustment statewide. It's not here locally that we're required to. Any bond adjustments have to be reported to Austin, and I'm required to certify that I looked at what's passing right now for a public safety report, which is the criminal history. But that's a more fine-tuned criminal report is going to be offered by the state. So,
Yes, Your Honor.
so let's go ahead and do it for the 5th in front of Judge Palomo at 8:30 in the morning.
May 5th,
I
Your
set
Honor.
you down for a plea.
No, we can have a status, Your Honor. There is still some discovery that's pending, which is also why I wanted a little more time than just the next week.
Okay, well, then we'll leave it on the 5th for a status. Show up with a plea package, get it done.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Salinas. Anything further? Thank you, Mr. Molina. We'll see you here in 2 weeks.
Well, Your Honor. And that's my last case. May I be excused, Your Honor?
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Salinas. Good to see you.
Your Honor, 406, Antonio de la Torre, 406.
Your Honor, for the record, Fausto Sosa, representing Mr. De La Torre.
Let me call the case. The court calls 2021 CRH 1043 D4, State of Texas versus Antonio de la Torre Jr. Mr. de la Torre, you understand English?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Your Honor, we already have a plea deal. I just need to take the documents over for him to sign, Your Honor.
I'm at the hearing, but they haven't called Mr. Reach.
Mr. Hernandez, can you mute your?
Yeah, I'll take the call. Thank you, Gracie.
The office of Juan Hernandez, you need to mute yourself. Yeah. Thank you.
No lo escucho. ¿Quién habla?
Alma, can you help me with that? I can't find it on this. Here it is.
Perdón.
Got it. 7 days and you'll be with Judge Hale. That's his case.
That's fine, Your Honor. The quickest, the better.
Yep, 7 days. That's the quickest. April 27th at 1:30 p.m. for a plea. Anything further, Mr. Sosa?
I do have one other case, Your Honor.
Hold on a second. Marco, can you correct me if I'm wrong? It looks like the 406 is done.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, any staff members with the 406, you're excused. And Mr. Sosa, I normally would take you out of term, but we're at the mercy of the jail unless it's a reset.
Well, it will be a reset, Your Honor.
Which,
You're going over, it's Estefania Flores, 2021.
you gotta tell me the court first. Oh, okay, 341st on page 4.
It's 1381 CRD. My records show me that I was set for pretrial, for a pretrial hearing, Your Honor. There's nothing to pre-try.
Again, so
Your Honor,
yes.
what was the case, Your Honor?
Oh, on page 4, 2021 CRD 1381 D3, the state of Texas versus Estefania Flores.
How much time, Your Honor, is he requesting?
Well, they have nothing to pretrial, so
30 days.
May 5th at 8:30.
That's all I have, Your Honor. May I be excused?
yes, thank you, Mr. Sosa.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who do we have?
341st, Orlando Grajeda Jr., Orlando Grajeda Jr., 341st.
Also on page 4.
Page 4, Your Honor.
Yeah. Court calls 2021 CRI 448 D3, state of Texas versus Orlando Grajeda Jr.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Gabriel Nieto here on behalf of Mr. Grajeda. Your Honor, there's nothing to pre-try at this time. We can pass this along to the final pre-trial.
Again,
May 5th at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you.
Mr. Nieto.
Yes, I'll speak to you. I'll speak to you tomorrow, Mr. Grajeda.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
all right, good luck, sir. Next,
Now I have Jose Luis Castillo, 341st. Jose Luis Castillo, 341st, also needs an interpreter.
Nieto, is that yours?
Page 7.
Court calls 2019 CRD 592 D3, the state of Texas versus Jose Luis Castillo.
Yes, Your Honor. Gabriel Nieto here on behalf of Mr. Castillo. We're here for an MTR arraignment.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor, my client pleads not true wasteful
Let
reading
me let the interpreter,
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Castillo.
Estamos en el caso del señor José Luis Castillo y el estado de Texas. Es el caso 2019 CRD 592D3.
Mr. Castillo, you're here for the first time after the state of Texas has filed a motion to revoke your probation. So I'm going to ask your attorney if he has an announcement for you.
Señora Castillo, usted está aquí después de la petición de que se le ha revocado su libertad condicional. Le voy a pedir a su abogado si tiene algo que mencionar.
You may
Your Honor,
proceed.
Your Honor, my client pleads not true, wasteful reading of the application and requests a final setting.
May 5th at 8:30 a.m.
And Your Honor, I believe my client is being held without bond. If we can request a reasonable bond at this time.
En este momento mi cliente se está declarando que no es cierto, está también no pidiendo la lectura y el caso se puede volver a escuchar para el día mayo para el día 5 de mayo a las 8:30 de la mañana y el abogado está pidiendo una fianza razonable.
Mr. Nieto, you're going to have to file a motion for that request.
Understood, Your Honor.
My prior statement regarding, I have some, your client was not on the list of the criminal histories I was provided, so, and he's looking at a second-degree felony, or the underlying cases, a second-degree felony, so I'm going to deny it anyways. And you'll be with Judge Palomo, so make sure you get that motion in.
Yes, Your Honor, will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
En este momento su pedimento de fianza queda negada por el juez.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Castillo. Buena suerte.
Hey, boss, con lo que estoy aquí, disculpen la molestia, con lo que estoy aquí, cuando caí la primera vez, los 36 days me sigue valiendo los primeros 36 días y ahorita lo que llevo aquí.
Is this still Mr.
Castillo? Does it count the 36 days that I have been here?
Cuando me arrestaron la primera vez, me tiré 36 días aquí en County. Más quiero saber si vale eso, sigue como obviamente que sigue cuentando eso.
If you didn't have any other charges pending, yes, it would count, or federal charges.
No tenía ningún otro cargos pendientes o federales, entonces sí le van a contar.
Okay.
All right. Good luck, Mr. Castillo. We'll see you here in 5 days. Nos vemos en 5 días.
Honor Gerardo Ancira, 341st. Gerardo Daniel Ancira, 341st.
The court calls 2021 CRI 1103D3 and 2022 CRO 229D3, the state of Texas versus Gerardo Daniel Ancira Jr.
Your Honor, also on 2022 CRO 233D3.
Oh, I'm sorry, correct. And the case ending in 233D3. I show we're here on arraignment on the case ending in 229D3. Oh, and also the one ending on 233D3.
Yes, Your Honor. On those cause numbers, my client pleads not guilty to wasteful reading of the indictment and requests pretrial settings.
Your Honor, the informal conference, it's May 17 at 1:30 p.m. and the pretrial is June 2nd at 8 a.m.
And as far as the first case, Mr.
As far as first case, Your Honor, if we can have a scheduling order consistent with the other two cause numbers so that these may
June 2nd.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, this is Claudia Garcia for the state. I wanted to just inform the court that that a motion to transfer to the 111th is going to be filed. He has another pending case there.
For all three cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll, for right now, we'll set all of them for informals on 517. In that way. That'll work out. Judge Knotson can handle all the cases. Anything further, Mr.
No, nothing further from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, 49, Ivan Martinez, English interpreter.
Let me call his cases. The court calls 2020 CRJ 70D1, 2020 CRH 73D1, 2020 CRH 75D1, 2021 CRO 554D1, 2020 CRH 74D1, 2021 CRI 925D1, and 2021 CRD 1182, the state of Texas versus Ivan Martinez.
Judge, I don't see Mr. Martinez, Keiko Martinez.
Was this the one he was subbing in on
Yes.
from last week?
Yes, sir. Right, Fred?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Martinez subbed me out on one case, and he was supposed to file motions to sub me out on the others, and he informed the court that he would be sending those orders over.
I have one order here, and what you gave me, I'm not the one.
Yes, that's the only one he filed, Judge.
Your Honor, Mr. Martinez needed an interpreter.
Okay, we'll explain here in a little bit.
¿Cuántos minutos le van a dar una explicación sobre sus casos?
Mr. Martinez, Mr. Martinez, your attorney, Sergio Queco Martinez, is not here right now.
Señora Martínez, su abogado, Sergio Queco Martínez, no está presente el día de hoy.
He was supposed to submit motions to substitute for all of your cases, but he only did it in one.
Él debió haber entregado que va a estar sustituyendo la petición para todos sus casos, pero solamente entregó para uno de sus casos.
I've signed the order allowing him to sub in on the case ending on 1182 D1.
Yo ya firmé la orden permitiéndole en el caso 11, que termina en 1182.
Since your attorney is not here, we don't know what he wants to do with your case, so we're going to set it for May 12th at 1:30 with Judge Lopez.
Como su abogado no está aquí, no sabemos qué es lo que quiere hacer en su caso, así de que se lo vamos a aplazar para escucharlo el día 12 de mayo a la 1:30 con el juez López.
Está bien.
That is fine.
All right. Good luck.
Muchas gracias.
Okay.
Muy buena suerte.
Alma, he may need some prodding. I know we don't like to do that, but we're going to keep resetting the case unless we get all the orders in.
Yes, I will advise the attorney to turn them all in.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Trevino.
And I emailed them to, permission, the sender permission. Personally, I made it small so that it would, after I emailed them, I emailed them to. And it wasn't the door because Daisy was here for the appointment to talk to you about the case. She had called her.
I thought it was a 4:30. We have
49, Carlos Humberto Fernández. Carlos Humberto Fernández, 49.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Attorney Edward Nolan. I've been retained by Mr. Fernandez.
Let me find the case on the docket first.
Yes, sir.
Page 4, Judge.
Page 4, Judge.
Court calls 2018 CRO 1005 D1, the state of Texas versus Carlos Humberto Fernandez.
Did Mr. Nolan get appointed or he got retained?
Retained.
Been retained.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Judge. I'm getting feedback somewhere.
Sounds like they took care of it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Nolan, so what are we doing on this case?
Judge, we're set for a motion to revoke initial appearance At this time, we plead not to waive the reading of the application to revoke. We are requesting a bond, Your Honor. He's set with no bond. Judge, the allegations do not include a subsequent. So it's not like he's committed a new crime. Actually, I've been doing a little research on this case. For some reason, he pled true to another charge while this case was pending, which involved some time. And for whatever reason, I'm still trying to determine that this case was not disposed along with that plea. However, he comes back and now back to probation, which was the case before the court, judge, but it's, no subsequent offenses have been committed. Your Honor, if the court requires him to report once a week, twice a week to probation, my client will comply with any conditions the court imposes.
Any response from the state on that?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Joe Rodriguez for the state. We'd be opposed to a bond in this case, Judge. It is an MTR, and I believe probation is recommending ISF. The conditions that are alleged to be violated is he failed to complete TAP. He's had some positive UAs, the last of which I believe was a no-show. So I believe the behavior of absconding, Judge, that's why we're opposing a bond.
If the conditions included the inpatient treatment, Mr. Nolan, he has to be incarcerated before they'll take him.
That is correct, Judge, and I understand that. But that's what recommendation the probation is making. That doesn't necessarily that we'll agree to it. I'm not saying that we won't, but I don't think that a condition of probation or a recommendation of probation should hold my client in just for that purpose.
I understood that was part of the, I guess
well, that's what they're recommending, Judge.
No, I thought it was part of the agreement that he pled true to on the other MTR that did not dispose of this one.
No, Judge. And so there was the TAP is a condition of this probation.
Oh, okay.
Which is the outpatient, Judge. Which is the outpatient program. Now they're recommending the inpatient.
And that's what they're recommending, John. I'm not saying that we will or will not.
No, I understand.
I don't think that condition or their recommendation or their offer should be something to prevent my client from getting a reasonable bond, Judge. And even if we are to take that recommendation for probation, we'd still ask for more time because for the purposes of my client, he's the sole provider, his wife or partner is expected.
Mr. Nolan, I'm inclined to agree with you with the indication that he has not committed any subsequent offenses.
Judge, and if he has to report twice a month, so be it. Submit to UA, he's random, so be it.
Mr. Fernandez, where do you work at?
Mr. Fernandez.
Yes, sir.
Where do you work at?
I work at a security company, sir. It's a postal security. I work every day, sir, from 4 in the morning till 4 p.m. I'm really busy. I just I lost the career I really wanted, and I started messing up. Man. I could go back to my regular state where I was. I just missed a couple of breathalyzer tests, and I came out dirty twice for marijuana. And they did a test 5 days later, and that's why they took me out of TAP. I was compliant, sir.
Judge, and I've explained to my client, look, employment is very important.
No, I agree.
But at the same time, so is this matter. if not more important.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
it's Christina Hernandez from the Probation Department. Our concern is that the defendant has failed to comply with the mobile alcohol monitoring device. So he has missed quite a few times. So he was placed on a DWI, and he has missed. So that's our concern.
He has an interlock on his vehicle?
He has a mobile interlock, yes. Well, he should have one. An alcohol monitoring device, and he's missed quite a few times.
I have a portable one, and when it passes the time, it says it's missed, but I have not come out dirty for alcohol.
So that's our concern.
Well,
which is a legitimate concern, Your Honor. I understand that.
No, okay. I mean, I want to give him a chance to get out and work. I mean, he's been employed.
Your Honor, if I may, if the court's inclined to grant a bond, Judge, if I could recommend a cash bond. He does owe probation. I believe it's around $1,600. So something for the court to consider.
Judge, and of course, I mean, I don't think that my client can afford a cash bond, Judge. Specifically $1,600.
Well, I wasn't thinking along those lines, Mr. Nolan. I was thinking more along the lines of 500.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Yes.
If you give me a month, I will be able to pay the 1,600.
Well, don't shoot yourself in the foot, Mr.
Right, Mr. Fernandez. Just hold off, sir.
I mean, like to probation, like, because that's what.
Mr. Fernandez, would you please let the judge speak?
Okay, we'll do a $500 cash bond. He's reporting right now to probation?
Not at the time, Your Honor. Been incarcerated, I believe, over 7 days.
I know, but if he gets out.
Oh, yes, Your Honor, of course.
And obviously the prior conditions regarding the mobile interlock will apply.
Yes, sir.
Does he have the random UA test right now, Ms. Hernandez?
Yes, Your Honor. He is supposed to be calling the upper health line randomly. Every day, I'm sorry.
Every day? Okay. And that also will remain in effect. All right, Mr. Nolan, anything further?
No, Your Honor, we just request a final hearing date and we can have at least 30 days, Judge.
Nolan, you think he's going to get out? He's going to pay the 500?
Yes. Well, I believe
Okay,
so.
then your case
I mean,
will be reset for May 20th at 9 a.m.
May 20th at 9 a.m. Yes, ma'am.
for a MTR final hearing, okay?
Yes, ma'am. And I'm sorry, May 20?
May 20th at 9 a.m.
May 20th. Yes, ma'am. We'll be there.
And also, can you file a notice of appearance?
Yes, ma'am. We'll do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Your Honor, I believe that's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Nolan.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
You too. Good luck, Mr. Was it? Fuentes?
Clinton Jarrell Newkirk.
Page 8.
All right, let me call the case. We're here on 2017 CRH 1316 D1, 2017 CRH 1111 D1, 219 CRH 1216 D1, the state of Texas versus Clinton Jarrell Newkirk. Mr. Trevino?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it, who's here for the state? Was it Mr.?
Eduardo Ramirez for the state, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez. are you going to present anything that would indicate that Mr. Newkirk is a threat to the community? Based on the case law that Mr. Trevino referenced and provided to me last week, the state's burden is to show, and not just by preponderance of the evidence, that he violated his conditions of release. And the fact that he was arrested is not in and of itself evidence of that danger. So not even the complaint, according to the case law Mr. Trevino has provided.
And it's
So if it's,
case law.
well, he mentioned them last week, ex parte Heath Shires and ex parte George Amezcua Trevino.
And this is as far as the argument that the court should set a bond, or is that?
Well, actually, the San Antonio Court of Appeals, by the opinion written by Judge Alvarez, indicates that there needs to be some evidence that he should be denied bond because he's a threat to the community. I mean, he was out on bond on a violence case, which falls under directly on point with what Mr. Trevino argued last week under the, what is it, section 111 or 11.1?
11B of the Constitution. And I do remember from last time that the court was inclined in granting him a bond. And if the court will grant him a bond.
Well, the point is that if there's not going to be someone that has direct evidence of his threat to the community,
or that the
I'm required to do that.
I guess by a preponderance of the evidence that the offense that he's alleged to have committed while out on bond.
Yeah,
the
argument won't do that, and I can't take into account that he's been arrested as proof that he's a danger to the community. There has to be, and you can't just have, you have to have someone with direct knowledge. In other words, the complaint itself is hearsay, excluded under 803 or 806 as hearsay, and there's no exception.
Your Honor, if I may, I need a full candor to the court. And Mr. Ramirez, I just sent you the case law, but it was only toward that one element of what was needed to be proven. Mr. Newkirk was convicted in federal court, and that's what had been argued twice before with Judge Lopez for the transporting illegals. The issue with I think Mr. Ramirez has and I is whether or not that transporting is a danger to the community. That was the issue, and that's why I provided that I don't know if they have any proof or if they can prove up that the transporting is a danger to the community.
Well, in the case you provided, driving while intoxicated was sufficient danger to the community to affirm that decision. So it's not a very high threshold, and yeah, we're not talking about a complaint here. We're talking about a judicial determination already that he was transporting illegal.
Yes, right. One count, I believe, and I think it was a conspiracy. I don't believe he was actually charged with actually transporting, just a conspiracy to transport.
Well, wouldn't the nature of that offense, I mean, doesn't take a very big leap. I mean, I would certainly consider that more serious than a driving while intoxicated case.
Well, Your Honor, I would differ, because driving while intoxicated can lead to either that person driving or someone else dying, getting run over. A transporting is just taking somebody from one location to another.
Smuggling or being part of a conspiracy to smuggle can lead to a lot worse things too. I mean,
and for that particular section of the Constitution, it's just to deny him bail. I guess since he's being held on no bond right now, I guess that's why they filed that motion and argued under that section. However, if the court is inclined to grant him a bond, I think the defense is asking for a PR bond or a pretrial services bond, and this is where we ask the court to consider the history of all three cases that have been before this court and his how he has, I guess, how he has committed any offenses while out on those bonds.
No, I mean, the pending cases he has are aggravated robberies, and we're talking about felony ones here. You know, Mr. Trevino, yeah, I guess I misunderstood that he was being charged in federal court, but if there's been a judicial determination, I mean, by a federal court that he's been convicted, that's a little bit, that's not hearsay.
No, Your Honor, and I was, the purpose of that case law was to show you what was necessary to prove and to keep him. One, there's two issues. One is entitled to a bond, and then the second issue was whether or not, what kind of bond that would have been. Because Article 1, Section 11 states that every arrested person shall be bailable.
No, I know that, but this is, I mean, that specific section deals with violent offenses and family violence, which he had two pending bonds with the 49th, correct?
He had 3, Your Honor, and then when he was arrested, once he was arrested, Judge Lopez revoked his bonds while he was arrested under in the federal system, and because the bonds were revoked, he was held with no bond in the federal system pending outcome of that case. Once he pled and was sentenced, then he was brought back on a detainer, and we requested a bond be applied to him, and which we were denied. And we filed a motion to set bond again. We were denied. So then I did this third one, and I supplied the court with our argument based on the Texas Constitution, because he's been in custody now since that first arrest over 14 months. And again, our argument is that he needs a bond needs to be set for him, and I think the argument Mr. Ramirez was making is it's just he doesn't want a PR bond. But my argument would be that would be a reasonable bond because he's been in custody for 14 months. He hasn't been able to make any money, save any money, keep any money, Your Honor, and that's why.
If I remember correctly, though, but I mean, does he have family here in Laredo?
He has a child here, and the mother of his child is here, but I think she's either married or living with somebody else. His family is all in North Carolina. And while he was out on bond before, he's traveled to North Carolina. He's come back and forth. The judge has granted him permission. He hasn't traveled without permission. Pretrial services monitored him. We've had 2 trials, numerous hearings. He's made all of them. And that was back when we were in person. And so for the exception of the new federal case, he's, adhered to the conditions of probation and to the monitoring of pretrial services.
Well, I'm not inclined to grant a PR bond, but what I will do, Mr. Trevino, we'll set bond at $15,000 for each through pretrial services with biweekly reporting. That comes out to about $900.
I mentioned to the court, Your Honor, he's been on pretrial services bond twice before. The first one, he was bonded out on a regular commercial bond. And then he was subsequently rearrested. He got out on a pretrial services bond. rearrested, and then another pretrial services bond, and then the federal offense, which is why we recommended something other than that. But obviously, it's the court's decision. We just wanted to.
I know, and just going forward again, I mean, strictly following the rules of evidence, there is actually nothing presented directly to the court other than argument regarding his conviction. I mean, granted, it came from defense attorney, but strictly speaking, I mean, nothing's been offered by the state on this, and it's your burden on this. So I'm going to give him the opportunity to get out under those conditions of the 15,000 on each through pretrial services with biweekly reporting.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
could I please ask Mr. Newkirk for a phone number for one of his family members, Judge, for the bond?
Mr. Newkirk, is there a number where they can reach your family?
919-492-8157. What was the amount that you said it would take?
$900. I'm not waiving the fees, by the way, Mr. Trevino.
Fred, do you think he's going to be getting out so I can give you a court date?
I'm not sure because he probably have to try and get money from his family. And even if he gets it, I don't know how long it would take for them to get it down here.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
Judge, if the bond is 15,000 per count and it's 3
I thought
cases.
there were two.
There are 3 counts, Your Honor.
3 counts. Well, we'll do 5,000 on the third.
On the 12/16?
On the last one, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the last one is going to be 5,000.
So add times
So it's 35,000 total?
correct.
Okay.
So that'll be 1,050.
1,050 total.
Total, correct.
1,050.
So what kind of, do you want me to still have him in custody, Fred, or do you want a regular doc date?
Why don't we do a status a status on the 12th? We'll see what happens.
Okay, we're going to reset May 12th for a status hearing if he's still in custody.
Correct.
With the pretrial services, is it that full amount needed or a half upfront, or how does it work?
3%.
I know, but he's asking a different question. Valerie, how do you all do that?
Your Honor, if I may, we usually do the full 3%, Judge. So it would be a total of $1,050.
Right.
There's monitoring there where I have to make payments on the monitor, or?
You'll have to report twice a week.
Okay.
They'll let you know how. Sometimes it's by phone, but first few weeks it's probably going to be in person. I'll leave it up to pretrial services to this. Anything further, Mr. Trevino?
No, Your Honor. Were we set for May 12th to see if Mr. Newkirk's still in custody?
All right.
And I know last time we were gonna ask for dates, but I don't know if we should just wait, I guess, until see if he gets out, then we might need different dates. So I guess in May, we can ask for those.
Yes.
Yes.
I'd like to see if he's out, then we can be more flexible on the dates.
Well, yeah, just show up on the status hearing for the 12th, and if he's out, then you'll get the new dates then. And you might, yeah, let Mr. Newkirk
Yeah, if he's out, we'll either pretrial or Fred can let me know and we'll set him up on a regular docket.
Well, shouldn't we just have everyone appear, including if he gets out, he needs to appear as well on the 12th?
On the in custody?
Well, you can show up at court just because we're having in person. I mean,
And that's fine, Your Honor. If Mr. Newkirk gets out and he doesn't have a phone, he can come to our office.
okay.
And we can do it. We can do that whether in custody is here and then get an under reset date.
Make sure he understands that.
Yes, sir. I still,
Okay.
I do have my phone anyway, the same phone, Mr. Trevino. I'll get in touch.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll let us know whether you're out or not.
Right.
And your attorney. So you'll be required to appear on the 12th.
Right.
All right, Mr. Newkirk, good luck. Stay out of trouble.
Thank you.
Judge, if you go to page 3 in the 49th docket, Armando Sanchez at the bottom.
Right.
I was informed that he's in the hospital.
What do we have next?
341st, Dante Vera, 341st.
HA Judge.
Dante Vela, ¿verdad?
Sir.
Yes.
The court calls 2021 CRO 634D3, the state of Texas versus Dante Junis Vela.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. How you doing, Mr. Vela?
Good, and you?
I'm doing better. It's almost Friday.
Hello, Your Honor. Gabriel here on behalf of Dante Junius Vela, Your Honor. We're here on a status on a motion to withdraw, which we won't be urging at this time. We are in communications with the state regarding my client's current status. I believe he does have a federal hold at this time. If you can set this up for a final pretrial so that I may make contact with this federal public defender to see how his federal case will proceed.
41st.
May 5th, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if we may have a little bit more time, I believe his federal violation. I don't think he's made contact with his federal public defender quite yet. If we can have the federal court to give a little bit more time.
What about I'll set it on my docket for the 18th of May at 1:30.
What case, Judge?
That's the Dante.
That's a 341st case, May 18 at 1:30 p.m.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry, Raquel.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I'll make a proper request for bond in writing, as I know it's required.
Okay. I think your client has a question.
So I was gonna ask you, Judge, the only way I could get in touch with federal probation is if they pick me up and finish with this situation that I got in the state of Texas, right? That's the only way I can get in touch with my federal probation or a federal attorney. They will not appoint me one until I'm in federal custody.
Well, I think I just understood that your attorney's going to try to make contact to see where they are.
I don't have an attorney appointed yet for federal.
What does he have pending? Is it a parole
I believe it's
violation?
a federal probation revocation.
The only way I could get in touch, or not in touch, but I could get involved in my federal status is if I get a PR bond, or if I sign whatever the time or probation they will give me. But I really don't need a lot of time, or like a whole month and a half for a court date. I'm just ready to start my federal time. The only way I can do that is by finishing with y'all. This case been pending for almost like 2 years.
Yeah, but you've only been in jail about a week or so.
Yeah, but I had I was gonna do my sentencing already. I think it was February.
Mr. Nieto, is there any way to see if that's, and I know that happens a lot when they initially get arrested on new charges with the state. If we PR them, the jail will notify the federal authorities and they'll pick them up.
Yes, Your Honor, I'll look into that to see if that is required for the U.S. Marshals to come and pick them up.
But I'm assuming that the federal magistrate can issue a writ as well to bring them.
I agree, Your Honor. I don't know if a PR bond is completely necessary, but I'll look into it.
Judge Josh Davila for the state, just so the court's aware, we've had a plea agreement on this case for almost a year now, but Mr. Vela has failed to show up to the public defender's office to sign off on this. I believe that's one of the reasons why Mr. Nieto was wanting to withdraw from this case, was because he couldn't get a hold of his client. So the fact that it's been pending 2 years is more the client's fault and not the state or Mr. Nieto's. He's just been avoiding this. I'm not too sure what's going on with this federal case, but whatever the court decides, I just want them to be informed as to why.
Let's do, I'm setting it for the 18th with me. So give me some clarity on how we're going to do once we untangle the federal involvement and how to proceed. Because I'm pretty sure he's not just going to walk, even if I do grant him a PR bond. But if they're going to grant him, or they're going to assess time against his parole violation, then maybe we should grant him a PR bond so he can get on with his federal case. So just plan to give me some clarity on what we're going to do with this on the 18th. Then
I'll look into it, Your Honor, and I'll confer with the state and we'll let the court inform the court.
And if you're going to be requesting a bond at that time, make sure I get something so that we can put it on the list for criminal history.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, sorry, Mr. Vela, is it Mr. Vela? Yeah, Mr. Vela, you'll be back here with me on the 18th and we'll get this sorted out for right now. So the state is saying that you've been avoiding responding to the state charges. So just want to make sure that the state and the federal government are on the same page. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Nieto.
Yes, Your Honor.
Got 341st, Jose Salazar Medina. Jose Salazar Medina, 341st.
Page 5. The court calls 2021 CRI 803D3, the state of Texas versus Jose Salazar Medina.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here on behalf of Mr. Jose Salazar Medina. Your Honor, my client got picked up on some new charges. We are in talks with the state, negotiating a plea bargain. However, we would like to work out some of these new charges, and if we can just have a final pretrial to consider these new charges that my client got picked up on.
How much time do you need?
3 weeks should suffice, Your Honor.
May 12th, then, Judge Lopez at 1:30 p.m.
Your Honor, may I please speak?
Mr. Salazar?
Yes, sir.
If your attorney allows you to speak, I don't have any problem listening to you.
Mr. Salazar, just don't speak about the charges, please.
I just wanted to say that I think the felony charges, I got a $10,000 bond. I was hoping if is there any way I can be able to lower down the bond for I can sign like a peer bond or be reduced as low as possible. If I can get a peer bond, can I at least get something decent so I can be able to pay?
Yes, Mr. Salazar, I'll speak with the state about lowering your bond, and I'll file a motion today.
Okay.
Yeah, do that again. If we're gonna modify, he's got a current 10,000 on the new charges.
He's got a $10,000 cash bill surety on these charges, Your Honor, and then on the new ones, I believe it's
Okay.
he's got $1,000 cash bill surety. I think it's 5 different charges.
Yeah.
1,000 on each.
He's got 1,000 on one. It looks like he's got 1,000 on each, Your Honor.
We picked up 4 or 5 misdemeanors.
Yes, on one of them, Class A misdemeanor, 2,500 cash bill surety.
It's probably Judge Martinez, because I don't usually break
And
it
the
up.
rest is 1,000.
So, did we give you a date then to be back here? Clark Kent?
Yes.
When are you coming back for another final pretrial?
May 12th at 1:30.
Okay, Judge Lopez, okay. And talk to the state about that and see if you're willing to agree to it. We still have to report it, but obviously makes it easier on the court.
Will do, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
'49th, Your Honor, Irving Palomo, 49th.
And what,
Your Honor, if I may.
what page is he on? Oh, here he is. The court calls 2018 CRO 983 D1, the state of Texas versus Irvin Palomo.
Judge, if I may.
Yes.
Judge, I went to interview Mr. Palomo earlier at the jail. He stated that he retained Mr. Juan Garcia on the MTR.
Is Mr. Garcia present?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Mr. Palomo, did you talk to your attorney, Mr. Garcia?
My wife did, my girlfriend did. He said that he was going to represent me on the MTR.
Does the docket show whether he's filed a notice of appearance on this?
I didn't see one, Your Honor, earlier when I looked.
I'm trying to make contact with him. Hold on. Judge, he hasn't been hired yet. They did call his office, but nobody has gone by.
So we don't have an attorney of record? I mean, who's the public defender's office?
Judge, it was actually Mr. Silverio Martinez who was originally retained, if I'm not mistaken, but he's no longer on our appointment wheel.
If you want to, you can set it up for next week, Judge, and
Yeah,
let's see
let's
what
just-
Juan Garcia says.
Okay. 7 days, that way we don't prolong this.
April 27th.
Okay.
At
Mr.
1:30.
Paloma, none of your attorneys are here, or a attorney. So there's not a whole lot we can do, but we're gonna bring you back in 7 days, okay?
But by any chance, can you give me like a bond or something? To see if I can go in court on the outside?
How old is this case? 2018. It's not on the list. Sorry, Mr. Palomo. You'll have to take it up with Judge Hale. Without your attorney being here, I'm not sure the state's going to be willing to do that at this time.
How much would it be?
7 days with Judge Hale. Just out of curiosity, what's going on with this from the state?
Your Honor, it looks like this is an MTR. The two major allegations are subsequence and missed months. He missed 7 months, and he committed 2 different Class B offenses: striking a vehicle and accident involving damages.
No, yeah, no, we'll let Judge Hale deal with it. I'm not going to give you a bond right now, Mr. Palomo. You're going to have to talk to Judge Hale about it. Make sure if you talk to your family, they sort things out with who's going to represent you.
Okay, I just wanted to state something real quick. I had broken my left ankle. I really hadn't done nothing. I had broken it in 5 pieces. I had it really messed up.
Well, I don't know anything about your case, but it sounds like the charges indicate you might have done more serious damage to the other side. Look, it's only 7 days. You'll be given an opportunity to talk to Judge Hale about maybe setting a bond for you. I'm going to let him make that decision. I'm going to deny your bond at this point.
Okay.
First, sorry, Mr. Palomo, but you'll be back in 7 days.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Your Honor, 49, Ramiro Valadez Jr. Ramiro Valadez, 49. Can you see an interpreter?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Court calls 2016 CRD 1438D1. State of Texas versus Ramiro Valadez.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jose Pepe Garza for Mr. Valadez.
Good afternoon, sir.
Your Honor, on this matter, we have a plea agreement on the MTR for the court's consideration.
Okay, I didn't yet. Is the state ready to proceed as well?
Yes, Your Honor. Paul Thompson for the state.
Okay. Just what are the alleged conditions that he's going to be pleading true to?
Your Honor, I believe it's going to be a plea true to the motion to revoke as alleged.
Was he pleading true to all violation of all conditions or just several?
I believe all, Your Honor.
All?
Yes.
All right. And the proposed agreement regarding resolution of the case?
Your Honor, the agreement is 2 years TDCJ, credit for time served.
Is the interpreter ready? Can we mute that background noise?
Hello, I'm here. Good afternoon, sir. I am Cuauhtémoc Juárez. I am the interpreter.
Good afternoon, sir. Good to meet you. All right. Señor Valadez, ¿necesitas un intérprete?
Por favor, sí.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Valadez, your attorney is telling me that you've reached an agreement with the state of Texas regarding the motion to revoke your probation. Is that correct?
Señor Valadez, su abogado me dice que usted llegó a un acuerdo con la fiscalía respecto a esta moción para retirarle su libertad condicional. ¿Es cierto?
Okay.
No answer.
Can
¿Es
you
cierto
answer?
o no?
Es cierto.
Yes, it's true.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Le voy a pedir que levante su mano derecha para prestar juramento.
Do you solemnly swear testimony you will give in this cause now in trial is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Señor, ¿jura usted ante Dios, jura usted decir la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad en esta corte? Yes.
Thank you.
The state of Texas filed a petition against you alleging that you violated all the terms of your probation.
El estado de Texas presentó esta moción, esta solicitud, porque según ellos, usted no cumplió con ninguno de los requisitos de su libertad condicional, de las condiciones.
As to those allegations, how do you plead, true or not true?
¿Cómo quiere declararse usted sobre esto? ¿Es cierto o no es cierto lo de estas cosas que dice la fiscalía? True.
Has anybody forced you to plead true?
¿Lo obligó alguien a usted para que dijera esto? ¿Que es cierto que no ha cumplido con las condiciones? No.
Are you pleading true freely and voluntarily?
¿Usted está declarando que es cierto por su propia voluntad? Yes.
Mr. Valadez, based on your testimony, I'm going to accept your plea of true on the allegations made by the state of Texas. Can we block those people out?
It seems to be the 49th court.
Alma, you need to mute yourself. Alma.
Thank you. I'm sorry, did you catch what I said before?
Only half of it. I'm sorry.
Okay. I don't remember what I told. Hold on. Mr. Valadez, based on your testimony, I'm going to accept your plea of true. I find that it was made freely and voluntarily.
Basándome en su declaración, voy a aceptar esta declaración suya porque usted la hizo de manera voluntaria.
And the court does find that you violated all the conditions of probation.
La corte determina que usted violó todas las condiciones de su libertad condicional.
But the court is also going to approve the agreement that you are to serve 2 years in a state prison.
Y la corte también va a aprobar este acuerdo al cual usted llegó con la fiscalía. Y usted tendrá que cumplir 2 años de cárcel en una penitenciaría del estado.
You will be given credit for time served.
Le vamos a tomar en cuenta el tiempo que usted ya pasó en la cárcel.
And just out of curiosity, Mr. Garcia, how much time does he have?
Yes, Your Honor, I don't have the actual credit timeline, but he's been in custody for a while now. He had some time before that.
Okay. I'm just curious. I'm just asking. Usually they like to hear. Is there anything further than Mr. Garcia?
Your Honor, I have the credit. He has about 10 months credit.
Sí, su abogado dice que usted ya tiene como unos 10 meses en la cárcel, señor,
Total.
y se le va a tomar en cuenta para su sentencia.
Good
¿Tiene
luck.
usted alguna pregunta?
Sí, sí, entonces tengo 10 meses de crédito,
So, sir, I have 10 months of credit, right?
pues ¿cuál es servido ya?
Is it time served?
No. And that's what your attorney is telling me, and you will be given credit for all the time you have served.
No. Verá, esos 10 meses, su abogado me dice que usted ya tiene 10 meses y esos 10 meses se lo vamos a contar como parte de la sentencia que usted ya cumplió.
We don't have the exact number, maybe a few weeks more, maybe a few weeks less, whatever it is, you will get credit for it.
No tenemos ahorita a la mano el tiempo exacto que usted ya tiene en la cárcel. Puede ser unas semanas menos, unas semanas más, pero sí se lo van a contar.
Okay. Any other question, Mr. Valadez?
Señor Valadez, ¿tiene usted alguna otra pregunta?
Y lo que no entiendo es que quiero saber nomás si como el tiempo servido es que me van a dar, ya voy a tener como, me va a haber parole, fue lo que me había dicho mi abogado, que dándome el tiempo servido ese, so ya me iba a empezar a ver mi parole.
You see, my question is, with this, do you mean that it's time served? Will I get a chance for parole? Will I have a parole officer come over and visit me?
They'll make that determination when you're in jail if you're eligible for parole.
Ellos van a decidir si usted es o no es candidato para libertad condicional.
My understanding is that in a lot of cases, you do not serve the full time if you behave well.
Según entiendo yo, usted no va a tener que cumplir toda esa sentencia si usted se comporta bien en la cárcel.
All right. Good luck, Mr. Valadez.
Buena suerte, señor Valadez. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Garcia. Nice meeting you.
Likewise, Judge. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Number 49, Rene Santos Chapa, 49th.
The court calls 2021 CRM 939D1, the state of Texas versus Rene Santos Chapa.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
Judge, it's an MTR arraignment. The public defender's office is being reappointed to his case.
Okay. Is there anyone here that's going to stand in for the public defender's office?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Hey, Mr. Trevino.
Guys, my client pleads not true, waives formal reading of the application for revocation, and requests a final hearing. Your Honor, this is a state jail felony. Pled 2 for 3, and we're requesting a bond, a reasonable bond if possible.
Ms. Calderon.
Paul Thompson for the state, Your Honor. In this one, he hasn't reported since December of 21. So we're asking for, if you're going to let him out in the bond, we'd ask for a higher bond and perhaps some random drug testing and reporting.
What's the final dates we're looking at for this, Alma? Final pretrial date? Alma?
What? I
Mr.
don't know, how much time do you want, Fred?
Standard 2-3 weeks.
May 12th with the judge?
Mr. Trevino, I'm gonna leave him in there. I'm not gonna grant him a bond. He's been gone for a while. And if you do want the court to consider, if you're unable to reach an agreement by that date, file a motion. That way the judge will be better prepared to address a possible bond.
And Your Honor, would it be 8:30, 9, or 1:30?
1:30.
1:30. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is gonna be April what, 12th?
Yes, Judge.
I mean, May 12th?
Yes, Judge.
All right, next case.
Your Honor, 341st, Jose Gonzalez, 341st. Any interpreter?
The court calls 2021 CRB 1000D3, State of Texas versus Jose Gonzalez. Buenas tardes, señor González. ¿Necesita un intérprete?
Sí, por favor.
Mr. Hernandez, are you here? I saw you floating around. Mr. Juan Hernandez?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're here on a pretrial hearing. Is there anything we need to address?
Yes, Your Honor. In this particular case, the district attorneys were supposed to translate some testimony that was taken in Spanish. We have quite a bit of the evidence, and we've reviewed it, but we still need the translation. I haven't heard from the district attorney's office yet.
Yes, Judge Josh Davila for the state. We don't usually reach out to every attorney on the status of the evidence, but as for this one, I did check, Your Honor. It's 8.5 hours of an interrogation. 3 defendants, all in Spanish. So from my last checkup yesterday, our interpreter here at the office, Mr. Delin's, gonna need a little more time. So we're asking for at least, another 45 days to get these translated, because it will be one translation to Mr. Hernandez. I believe there's another one that goes to the public defenders, and there will be another one to a third attorney. The other 2 cases are in the 49th. For whatever reason, this one was transferred back to 341st. But that's the status right now we have on the translations. They're being worked on, and I understand that Mr. Hernandez needs them for his discovery. But that's where we're at right now, Your Honor. So the state's gonna ask for more time to get that done.
Sure.
We don't have any objections, Judge, unless they're going to dismiss the case.
They can probably get them to you in Spanish and you'd be fine. What did I do with the list of the settings?
Judge, do you want me to translate this for him?
Yeah, go ahead. Well, I just found it, but go ahead.
Sí, el fiscal o representante de la fiscalía nos acaba de informar que, el abogado, su abogado nos acaba de informar que necesitan que traducir un testimonio que se recabó en español. También acaba de avisarnos que tienen mucha evidencia todavía en sus manos, pero que también necesita que esté lista la traducción y que ellos no han recibido todavía nada de la fiscalía. El fiscal respondió que las pruebas consisten en 8 horas y media de grabaciones de audio. Todo está en español y que la corte necesita, o la fiscalía necesita más tiempo para traducirlos, y solicitó una extensión de 45 días. Ellos
And they are
entienden
very
que el
important,
señor
Your Honor.
Hernández necesita de la traducción y están trabajando en ello.
And they are very important, Your Honor. One of them is a confession, so, you know, we do need to get those translated to even be able to be brought into court.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we set it with Judge Palomo on June 2nd for a status?
We don't have an issue with that, Judge.
That's fine with the state as well, Your Honor. We'll keep track of where these translations are at.
I know that's not quite the days, but that's what I have so far on the list. I don't have any other dates past that.
That's fine, Your Honor. I'll have an update by then. We'll see where we're at.
Thank you, Mr. Davila.
Thank you, Judge.
El juez Palomo propuso la fecha del 2 de junio para ver cuál es la situación del caso. El abogado, su abogado y la fiscalía están de acuerdo. Es la fecha más pronta disponible por ahora.
Will you please let the client know that I will go visit him sometime this week?
El abogado quiere que le informe que lo va a visitar durante esta semana.
Gracias.
Thank
Buenas
you.
tardes, señor González. Thank you, Mr. González.
Roberto Alejandro Duarte. 341st, Roberto Alejandro Duarte.
The court calls 2020 CRJ 1130D3 and 2021 CRK 303D3, the state of Texas versus Roberto Alejandro Duarte.
Yes, Your Honor. Gabriel on behalf of Mr. Duarte. The last time we were here, Your Honor, for this case, my client had failed to show up to his plea. If the state has no objection, and if the court is willing to entertain the plea, we should be ready for plea today.
I have the plea packages. Yeah, I think we're ready to proceed. Mr. Duarte, do you understand English?
Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Duarte, your attorney is informing me that you have an agreement with the district attorney's office and that you're going to enter a plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. First thing I need to do is ask you to raise your right hand so you can be sworn in.
Is it me, right, Judge?
Do you solemnly swear that the evidence and testimony you're about to give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Now, you understand English, right? Okay. Is your true and correct name Roberto Alejandro Duarte?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And any objection from the defense in proceeding on both cases at the same time?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Duarte, you're here with your attorney, Mr. Nieto. Have you had enough time to talk to him about your case and what's going to happen here today?
Plenty of time, sir, yes.
And have you had enough time to ask him questions? You know,
I have.
have you been satisfied with the services he's provided?
Very satisfied with the services, yes.
Is there anything that I need to know about that prevents you from understanding what we're doing here today?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Nieto, do you believe your client to be competent to go forward with trial today?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. Now, I have in front of me the plea packages that was provided to me by your attorney and filed. Did you have an opportunity to review these documents and sign them and ask questions of your attorney?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Okay, in here, there's an indication that you're waiving certain rights, and I'm going to cover a few of those to make sure you understand what happens when you go forward with a plea, okay? And the first one is you have the right to remain silent. You do not have to plead guilty today. You have the right to have a jury hear your case. You have a right to have a jury assess your punishment. If there are witnesses against you, you have a right to confront them and evidence as well at trial. If we go forward, do you understand that you're waiving these rights?
Yes.
And also, if I go along with this agreement and I sentence you along the lines of this agreement, You cannot complain about that punishment to a higher court unless you get special permission from this court. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And I have to ask everyone this question. Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Can you, a little louder, please?
Yes, Your Honor. U.S. citizen. I'm a U.S. citizen.
Thank you. And even though you're telling me that you are a U.S. citizen, again, I have to tell everyone that if you are not a U.S. citizen, pleading guilty could subject you to deportation, denied reentry, and denied the right to become a U.S. citizen. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And in the two cases going forward today, I also have to admonish you, warn you about the possible, again, possible punishment range for someone who pleads guilty and is found guilty for a state jail felony in the state. Well, in the state jail felony case, you're going to, a state jail felony in the state of Texas, and also the penalty for someone being found of a Class A misdemeanor theft of property. The maximum range of punishment for a state jail felony in the state of Texas is a term between 180 days to 2 years in a state jail and a fine up to $10,000. For a Class A misdemeanor in the state of Texas, confinement not to exceed 1 year and a fine of $4,000. Do you understand that? And knowing all these things, do you still want to go forward with your plea of guilty today?
Yes, but I understand that the state jail was dropped to county time.
Well, that's the recommendation, or that's the request that your attorney is making. We'll cover that during the sentencing portion, but usually when there's an agreement, I'll tell you that I will go along with that agreement. If I give you a sentence that's harsher than what you agree to, you're allowed to take back your guilty plea, okay? So if I give you, as I mentioned, 2 years to serve, you're allowed to take your guilty plea back. But if I go along with the agreement, which is why I warned you, if I go along with this agreement and I approve it, you can't complain about the punishment I give you because you've agreed to it, okay? Does the defense waive formal reading of the indictments?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Duarte, as to count 1, burglary of a vehicle, state jail felony, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And as to the cause number ending in 130, theft of property, Class A misdemeanor, how do you plead on that charge, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anybody forced you to plead guilty?
No.
And aside from the agreement that you have with the state, has anyone promised you anything else to plead guilty today?
No, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty on these 2 charges because you're accepting responsibility for these charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, I have in front of me 2 plea packages, one for the state jail felony and one for the Class A misdemeanor. And I covered this with you, but you reviewed these and signed these with your attorney?
Yes.
Is the state offering exhibits? Is it just one?
It offers exhibit 1 in both clause numbers.
No objections, Your Honor.
Both states exhibits once will be admitted. Okay, Mr. Duarte, based on your testimony and the evidence before the court, I'm going to accept your plea of guilty. I find that it has been made freely and voluntarily. And I am ready to proceed to sentencing. And as I mentioned, I'm going to go along with the agreement that you have made with the state of Texas, beginning with cause number ending in 303D3. The court is going to sentence you to 8 months in a county jail. And this is time served. And the court is going to approve the 1244 motion that you be allowed to serve that here, I'm assuming in Webb County. So that will be granted. You will also be given credit for time served. Is there an agreement regarding, we don't need to run these concurrent or anything like that? That's what I was going to ask. I'm assuming he has enough time to cover?
Yes, Your Honor, if these can run concurrent.
Any objection from the state on this?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. So the court will order that both cases run concurrent. Do you know what that means, Mr. Duarte?
Your Honor.
Okay, they're going to run at the same time. And the court is also approving the agreement of 5 months to serve in a county jail for the Class A misdemeanor. You will be granted credit for time served, obviously on both of them running at the same time. Again, and just out of curiosity, do we know how much credit the court is granting?
Yes, Your Honor, on the, he's got 92 days for the burglary of a vehicle, state jail felony, and 14 days for the Class A theft.
All right. Any court costs and attorney's fees that we need to assess?
Yes, Judge.
And we'll do it on the state jail felony only. We'll waive what we can on the Class A misdemeanor.
Okay, on the state jail felony, it's 430 court cost and 500 attorney's fees. So the theft Class A court costs are waived and attorney's fees waived, right?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So looks like you're kind of close there, Mr. Duarte. Any questions about what just happened?
Those 92 days credit, are they running with the time that I have now, or is this from the last time?
You're being given credit for all the time you've been in jail.
So everything's fine.
Okay. Well, hopefully the rest of your time will pass quickly, Mr. Duarte, and good luck. I hope you stay out of trouble.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any word on that plea package we did earlier? I forgot what court it was in. I think it was 340, Raquel, or was that you, Alma?
Yes, Your Honor, it's 341st.
Oh, yeah, just so I can have it, I can take it home with me and have them ready to go in the morning. It's running
Okay,
a
Your
little-
Honor.
And Mr. Allgeld, I know you've been waiting around. What we're going to do is when they bring your client out, we're going to try to put you all in a breakout room, and that'll be the break for the staff and everyone.
Oh, okay, Your Honor, understood. I do have a 4 o'clock teleconference that I have to jump on. So if we meet a little bit after 4:15, that's fine. Whatever, the court's accommodating us, so we're available,
Okay,
Judge.
well, I'll try to work with you. It's just kind of hard because they have a set rotation there at the jail, and it's very difficult to bring someone back.
Understood.
And just an FYI, I don't know, I'm assuming you need to talk to your client, but if the modifications are not accepted, we're going to reset this really quick for the 5th with Judge Palomo.
And that might actually work best, Your Honor, because there is a lot of ground that I have to cover with my client, and there are some unknown factors. And there's a conversation that needs to be had with the state. And it may even be prudent at this point, frankly, just to request that reset.
Okay, well, let's make sure that's not Miss, what's your client's name?
Miss Melendez.
Is that Melendez on the 4th floor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Miss Melendez, so what your attorney's requesting right now, you were here on a final hearing, I believe, on a motion to revoke. And he needs additional time to sort out your case with the district attorney's office. Judge Palomo asked that if it did not get resolved right now, that she wanted to hear your case on the 5th, which is 2 weeks from today. So unless there's some glaring objection from the district attorney's office. I don't know why we wouldn't do that. And I'll take silence as a no. So, Mr.
Judge, I'm
Allgood.
here. Crystal Calderon for the state.
So, Mr. Allgood says he needs more time. And Miss Judge Palomo had informed me that if it didn't get resolved today, that she wanted to reset immediately on the 5th, 8:30. Any
Yes, Your Honor.
objections?
No, I have no objections for that.
Is your chair attacking you?
Yes. But no, I was just gonna ask, no, yeah, I have no objection, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm sorry, do I have to be in custody? I've never missed Ms. Paloma's court, never missed Ms. Paloma's court. Es que I wanted to talk to her about that because I was handling my kids' medication, Medicaid and their food stamps. And they wait for me when I asked her for 10 more days, and she did grant me 10 more days. She granted me to the 14th, but they went to go pick me up on the 12th. But I got arrested before that. And I was asking, I've never missed a case. I've never missed a court. I was asking if I can be outside with my children until the 5th. I'll come to court and I'll make court here. I mean, I don't have I'll see Ms. Paloma in her court, court. I'm just asking for a couple of days just to handle my kids' Medicaid. I mean,
Well, normally, your attorney is going to tell you this. I'm usually very accommodating to try to get people out, but I got some special instruction on this from Judge Palomo, because, and I'm going to, apparently you were supposed to turn yourself in.
Exactly, yes, but she gave me 10 more days, sir. I swear it was everything was recorded. She told me on the 14th, because my children were sick. I talked to her on the 4th. I did make it a court and I talked to her. She gave me 10 more days. And I've never missed her court. That's why I'm asking. I'll come to court, I mean, in person. I don't mind that. I just need to fix my children's things. That's it. I'm not hiding. I've never.
Hold on a second, Raquel.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything to what they're saying here? I'm just reading here.
No, Your Honor.
If I may, there was a motion to revoke filed and the judge signed it and she told me to reset it to May 5th.
And Your Honor, on the question of the bond, the defendant keeps saying that she does show up. Yes, she does show up, but she didn't get picked up. She was arrested for an office.
Yes, ma'am, I did get
She committed.
but they went to go look for me todavía in my house. They went to
Look,
go.
okay, look.
Your
yeah,
Honor, if I
look
may, as per judge instructions, she said for her to stay in custody until the
Yes.
next court hearing.
Yeah, I mean, so unfortunately, Ms. Melendez, yeah,
I just wanted to fix my children's things, I swear. I wasn't doing anything.
yeah, again, I'm usually try to be accommodating, but
My husband's.
I was instructed specifically on this case, so you're gonna have to appear before Judge Palomo on the 5th.
And that, and I really do. It's my husband's out of town all week, and he's the only one that takes care of the Medicaid and food stamps. If not, they're not gonna have anything.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Algelt, but the request for a bond right at this point is gonna be denied. And
Your
I'm
Honor,
sorry,
and my client, I mean, she said it best. There are some pressing medical.
I know, Mr. Algelt, but I'm sorry I can't accommodate, and I've never been that difficult to work with, or I try to be understanding, but there were specific instructions on this case that if it did not, and it didn't look like it's going to go forward today, that she was to remain in jail until she appeared in custody on the 5th at 8:30 in the morning. That's my
Understood.
decision. I'm sorry, Mr. Algelt, but yeah, it's getting late.
Understood, Judge.
All right. Sorry, Ms. Melendez. All right, good luck. Next case.
Your Honor, 49, David Valverde, 49.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Russell Jordan for Mr. Valverde.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jordan. How you doing?
Well, sir. How about you?
Can't complain. So let me call the cases. Court calls 2021 CRM 653D1 and 2021 CRM 652D1, State of Texas versus David Valverde.
Yes, Your Honor. My client has come to an agreement with the state concerning a modification of his current probated sentences. He has 2 MTRs pending. And essentially what he's agreeing to is to submit to ISF, the dual track program, as part of his probation, Your Honor. And I believe that encompasses our agreement, although Ms. Calderon can add whatever details she deems necessary.
Your Honor, that's correct. Chris Calderon for state that is the agreement to modify the probation to ISF dual tracks.
Okay.
And at this time, the state would ask to withdraw the MTR.
That'll be approved. Okay, Mr. Valverde, your attorney is telling me that you have reached an agreement. They're just going to modify your probation.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, good luck with that, Mr. Valverde. Okay. The court will approve the modification. You're going to attend ISF dual track as part of the prior probation conditions.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Judge Garcia, I believe that's all I have before the court, if I may be excused, sir.
Yes. Thank you. And good to see you again, Mr. Jordan.
Likewise, always a pleasure, sir.
And Judge, may I be excused as well?
Thanks for asking. Most people just leave, but thank you, Ms. Calderon.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good one.
Your Honor, 49, Jorge Monsiváis the third, Jorge Monsiváis the third, 49.
The court calls 2019 CRM 1353D1, the state of Texas versus Jorge Monsiváis III.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
Judge, I believe this is an MTR arraignment. Mr. Monsiváis did qualify. The public defender's office is being reappointed to his case.
Okay. Mr. Trevino or Mr. Omar Salinas?
Your Honor, that would be me, Mr. Trevino, representing Mr. Monsiváis.
Good afternoon, Mr. Trevino. We're here on an arraignment.
Yes, Your Honor, this is a motion to revoke arraignment. My client pleads not true, waives formal reading of the application for revocation, and requests a final hearing.
Alma, the 12th? Is that too quick, Mr. Trevino?
No, Your Honor, that would be fine.
So final hearing on May 12th at 1:30. Alma, did you get that?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. All right.
Okay. Done. What's that? Yeah. Your Honor, the last one, 49, Juan Alberto Lopez. Juan Alberto Lopez.
Page 3, Judge.
Did you say interpreter?
You said the last one for the day?
Yes, sir, and then we got the extraditions.
Oh, okay. The court calls 2020 CRL 1101D1, the state of Texas versus Juan Alberto Lopez.
Ready, Judge.
All right. Who's here for Mr. Hernandez? Is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, in this case, I know that we have I don't know if the district attorney wants to tell us why we're here, but I believe it's an MTR. And I have filed a motion to set bond as well.
Paul Thompson for the state. I'm just recently took this case over. I don't have an answer for that, but let me look it up real quick. Okay.
You filed the motion, Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, Your Honor, we filed it on the 7th of April.
Okay, which is why I have it on my list here of public safety report.
Man.
Mr. Lopez, do you understand English? Did I?
Señor López, ¿entiende usted el inglés?
Sí.
Prefiere?
Yes.
Do you prefer in Spanish though?
Sí, español.
Okay.
I'll break it up, Mr. Juarez.
Your Honor, Paul Thompson for the state. Our position is that, Your Honor, he's committed, or he's alleged to have committed 2 subsequents, be it Class A's, but still 2 subsequents. He's no-showed to several of his drug tests. He's absconded since November 2021, as per the motion. He failed to report 3 different months in the motion, and he couldn't give us his address. That seems like a big red flag right there. According to violation condition number 10, that he failed to report an address change within 48 hours and would not give them a new address.
Okay. A ver.
Well, I mean, are we here on an initial MTR or on a motion to adjudicate?
I don't know that he had been served with an MTR judge.
Okay, so we're here just to adjudicate.
Right, if we do, I mean, I haven't seen a copy of it, but they're pretty much, we can plead not true and waive the formal reading and ask for a final hearing on it.
I mean, do they need to file a formal motion to revoke if he was placed on unadjudicated probation?
Your Honor, I believe that there is I'm looking at a motion that was filed on March 27 of 2022, an amended state's application to adjudicate probated sentence. So perhaps maybe that's why we're here, is just to arraign him on this amended MTR, our motion to adjudicate.
Okay.
I mean, I can make that announcement on behalf of Mr. Lopez, Judge.
Okay, well, you already have.
Right.
So do we need to set a separate date?
I would think so, Judge. I would like to talk to the DA's office and maybe we can wrap this thing up ASAP. Part of my reason for filing a motion to set bond was for the same reason. I mean, he needs to be outside so he can get to work and he can take care of his 4 kids. And I think that the state can also verify the fact that he has been in trouble. He's always been to the court. He's not a danger to the community, nor is the community a danger to him. It's just one of those things that you arrest him and you keep him there for X number of days, and then after that, well, after months, and then after that,
I was
you agree.
I was thinking of setting this on the 12th, and that's a pretty quick turnaround. But I'm gonna disagree with your assessment that he has been a danger to the community. I mean, I'm looking at his prior history right now. And the two underlying charges were a second and a first degree felony. Another possession, but he's got several assault charges, arrests. Look, Mr. Hernandez, the 12th is not that far off. And so I'm going to deny bond at this time and set it for final hearing, I guess, on the 12th. I mean, I can do the 5th if you want.
I believe the 5th would be
better.
Probably would be better, Judge. Yes.
All right, we'll set it for the 5th at 8:30 in the morning with Judge Palomo.
Okay. Thank you, Jan.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Señor, su abogado presentó una solicitud para que lo dejaran salir bajo libertad porque usted necesita trabajar para ayudar a mantener a su familia. Sin embargo, el juez ve que usted lo volvieron a arrestar y que, bueno, y que en efecto usted puede ser todavía un peligro para la sociedad porque usted tiene 2 acusaciones por delito grave, por posesión de sustancia controlada, y también tiene un historial o tiene antecedentes de arrestos por acometimiento o por agresión física contra otras personas. Por eso el juez va a rechazar esta solicitud para salir bajo libertad condicional y va a aplazar esto para una audiencia nueva que sería el 5, which month, Judge? 5 de mayo a las 8:30 de la mañana.
For final determination.
Y entonces el juez va a determinar va a hacer un fallo final al respecto.
Your Honor, are we resetting the motion for bond and the MTR both at the same time?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll set.
Okay. Okay.
Make Raquel,
No, Mr. Hernandez, will you be filing a motion to set bond?
Well, yeah, but that was my question. If the judge has denied it, then I guess I would have to file another one.
Yes.
But if the court has deferred, then I don't have to.
Well,
Because you had already filed, you have it there, Judge, with you?
I've already filed one, yes.
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
he did file one. Let's not create extra paperwork.
Okay.
And we already have the criminal history handy.
Okay. I believe that's all I have, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
Did you get that MSA thing squared away?
Yes. Yes, it's already been signed by us.
Has the other side signed?
That's what we're working on right now.
Okay. Well, let me know if you need to wrap it up. I've got time tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right.
And Your Honor, I believe that's all the cases I have this afternoon. May I be excused?
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I think we still have the extraditions unless there's more cases.
Yes, yeah, I still have. Raquel, did we get through all the 341st?
Your Honor, I have, I'm pending, Mark Edgar. I don't know if they call, did you call that case? He's on
No.
page 2.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. And this is set for arraignment. Maybe they filed a waiver?
Your Honor, Ms. Biswala for Mr. Suggs. No, this is my client. I know he has a history of not being cooperative and not coming out for his court hearing, so I don't know if that is the case today.
Oh, it looks like it.
Yes, Your Honor, it's the same case again.
Well, let's try again next week. See what happens on the 7th. I mean, on the 27th at 1:30 p.m.
Okay, Your Honor.
And are the extradition all on the 49th, Alma?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Judge, that's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Raquel.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, that is all for the public defenders for the 341st. May we be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, on the extraditions, we have the docket. They added one more, but I don't have a copy of the warrant. I don't know if the court has a copy of the warrant for Luis.
What name is that?
It would
Which
be
one is that one?
Luis Ramirez, Jose Luis Ramirez.
I don't have him on the docket either.
It's on the docket. It's just I don't have a copy of the warrant.
Oh, Jose Luis Ramirez. Yes,
Yeah.
I have him here.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't have anything
On him?
on any of the extraditions.
Hold on, Judge. Let me get, you didn't get the folders?
No.
Okay, let me give them to you.
More now. About extraditions and
No, thank you.
I think there's only like 2 or 3.
Mr. Trevino, what are we doing with this?
Your Honor, I know what from the docket I can see that he has a. It says he's got a warrant. Mr. Ramirez does, but I don't know if it's the warrant was actually if there is an actual warrant. I usually like to check before I speak with him to see if maybe there's an issue. It's happened a few times where there wasn't a warrant. There was just some sort of email message or teletype saying that there was a warrant, but no warrant was presented to the jail. Just wanted to verify that there was an actual warrant for Mr. Ramirez. Looks like it's a parole violation out of Kansas.
It looks like there is only the teletype.
So I know in the past, I don't know how the jail could book somebody or arrest somebody without an actual warrant.
Well, can't they arrest him on a belief?
I think he can be arrested. He may be arrested, but once he's booked at the jail, so for the jail to hold him, there has to be based on either some kind of warrant. And then if there's no warrant, then I guess we would be filing a writ of habeas saying that they can't hold him without a warrant. And usually when this comes up, we contact the jail and they go and search their paperwork and see if they can find a warrant or something.
What was the date of arrest for Mr. Ramirez?
I don't have any of that information, Your Honor.
Hold on.
I didn't get any paperwork.
I got it here. He was arrested 5 days ago. So the state of Kansas still has 25 days.
Well, we're not talking about a governor's warrant of extradition.
Oh,
Just an actual warrant to arrest him.
no, I see what you're saying. Okay. Let me go through and make sure I'm not missing anything.
For seconds, I promise.
Yeah, in other words, you can do a complaint based on the belief. But at some point, you do have to come up with the warrant from the sister state. You're gonna start throwing the Constitution at me again, are you, Mr. Trevino? Although this is probably.
I know some people like to call it technicality.
Yeah.
Just that pesky Constitution.
You and your radical ideas about reading the Constitution. You know, usually when you hear that, they're like, okay, this guy's grasping at straws here, but it was on point. I mean, but you know, I had to rethink the whole conviction deal from a federal court.
And when I'm glad you were mentioning that, because I didn't know you were under that impression. I just didn't want you to.
No, but I mean, it at the same time, really, I had no proof that there's a conviction. I mean, it would have been very easy for them to get a copy of the conviction and offer it, and then, and it's really an evidentiary decision is the whole point of that. So really, I mean, I don't know. Can I take judicial notice of a federal court determination? I mean, unless you stipulate to it, which you did not, but you mentioned it. But, you know, I don't know how that would play out with the Court of Appeals. Anyways, well, I mean, the best I could do right now, Mr. Trevino, I mean, we could set it for the 27th in 7 days. Who's the judge that's going to hear that? Judge Hale?
Yes, because the 30 days still applies. So.
Yeah.
Is that just on one case or all three of them?
No, just on Ramirez.
Okay.
There's a warrant on Percano. I'm going to check here on Romaldo.
And if you want, Your Honor, I could talk to Ramirez anyway and explain to him the situation. He may still want to waive it.
And there's a warrant. Well, yeah, well, it looks like a warrant signed by a document from Kentucky.
Maria,
Yeah, and I believe that's sufficient. It's a warrant of arrest
Yeah.
we're gonna have to reset this one.
for De Leon Esparza.
The Judge Hill next week.
So I'm not really concerned with that. Because the judge-
So what do we need you need to talk to them first?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to talk with them, and I could probably
how to
explain
put
it
them in
to
the
what's
breakout
going on
room,
with
you
Mr.
know?
Ramirez, and maybe he would like to waive that as well. He could waive it.
You don't
I
need
think
to.
he's ready to go back.
You
Let me
guys
talk
can
to
do
him.
it, ¿verdad?
Let me create a breakout room,
Ah, okay.
and I'm gonna put you in there. And then for the staff, I guess, we hadn't had a break, and it's 4:20. So how much do you need, about 10 or 15 minutes?
I'll be about 10 minutes, Your Honor. If you can take 15, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here as long as it takes.
Right.
Christina, you don't have to stay.
Okay, I was just gonna ask the judge if I could leave. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pobrecita.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
So just come back into the main session when. All right, they're gone.
Could I be excused too, Judge?
No, Valerie, you have to work with me.
No, she has to stay.
Excuse me, I received an invitation to join a room.
Mr. Juarez?
Yes, sir.
No, I may have clicked it by accident. Hold on a second.
I also
Yeah.
did, Judge.
Oh, yes, yes, go. They probably need an interpreter. I'm sorry, Mr. Juarez.
Okay.
Yeah, you put me to join too, Judge.
No, everybody is eligible to join, but only Mr. Juarez, Mr. Trevino.
Okay, I'm gonna click later, where it says later.
I should have created 2 rooms. And that way I could assign. There we go.
Alma. Alma.
¿Qué pasó, Kathy?
Oye, es on page, el de Armando Sanchez, page 3, was it reset? Page 3 bottom.
I guess. Es que I don't know how long he's gonna be in the hospital. But
Okay.
I guess we need to give him a date, no?
Pues sí, si no, it's gonna stay there.
Yeah.
Sergio Lozano was not present, ¿verdad?
No, I told him to leave. He was.
Okay.
He was. He says, "Can I leave?" I said, "Yeah," because he's not gonna be called. How about if we give him? Maybe he'll be out by May 5th, ¿verdad?
Yeah, pues is
May
it serious?
5th, yeah, at 8:30. With Judge Paloma.
Another motion setting.
Yeah, another motion setting.
Okay, thank you.
Ándale. Te creíste, Valerie, que no te fueras.
I don't want to disobey judge's orders, so.
Ponte la máscara para atrás.
Ahorita me la pongo.
Kathy,
Mande.
He already signed the motion for Alejandro Ruben Santos. The motion where he's setting the bonds, those $2,000 PR bonds on all the cases. He already signed it. I have the motion here.
El de 15, 15, and 5?
No, el de two.
Oh, shoot. ¿A cuál es ese?
El de 18 counts.
It was the writ, Kathy.
Oh,
It was
okay.
a writ. Yes.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yes.
All
So
right.
do you need it now or no? I can scan it and send it to you for now.
Alejandro Santos, right?
Sí.
Okay.
Yeah. Or do you want me to tell Fabian to come for it?
Yeah, dile Fabian, please.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
Kathy, can you send me a copy of that one, please? Yeah, the Newkirk, the dispo for both of them.
El de,
I'll send you this one, Valerie.
Okay, thank you.
el de Newkirk más era 15 through pretrial services. It wasn't cash bail surety, ¿verdad?
No, 15, 15, and 5.
5. Yeah, esa ya las hice. Fabian was gonna go ahead and submit them.
Okay, thank you.
¿Cree que nos quedemos aquí, bye?
Valerie,
On there.
I just sent it to you. Did you get it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Judge, this is Kathy Martinez. Am I dismissed? We're through, right? You're mute.
We have the 3 extraditions. I don't know if you have any part in that.
No, but we already finished our docket, the 49th, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
If you have no,
See ya.
you didn't have to stay.
I didn't want to disobey, Judge, so.
Oh, just because there's people around.
También ya me voy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. put the 19.
One.
You put the 19 and you put the 19. Does it matter or no? You want to go see?
I
No,
can-
just for you?
I'll check downstairs. and if they
No,
need
no,
anything.
when you come back.
That's true.
No, porque después si te dicen, no, de ahí, technicality of the.
Technicality, yeah.
No, I'm just gonna do it. Each count. 2,000 each. Okay.
Nomás
Oh,
esto.
great, pero ya.
Nomás esto.
Yes,
Thank you
please,
so much.
thank you.
Back to court.
Alguien persona más. Bueno, me imagino yo, con la abuela misma.
Your Honor, in regards to Mr. Ramirez, he's telling me that there was another man named Ramirez also in custody, and that he's never been on parole. I mean, he's never been in prison, so he doesn't believe that's him. So I'd like probably to reset that so we can determine what's going on with that warrant.
Which is Jose Luis Ramirez.
He speaks English, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Does he have separate? Does he have other charges? Well, hold on.
No, Your Honor, that's what he's been arrested for. Well, I don't have any paperwork on him. That's.
I have no charges on, if I may, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have no other charges. I just got pulled over and it was that warrant that, which my understanding was a misdemeanor, what I had. And it's something else popping up on the system, just like a possible. So I'm waiting it out because I mean, apparently if I had a bond, I would bond out. I have my family here. I live over by the Heights. So, I mean, I have family that support me and everything.
Let me look at this teletype here.
And then at the time of the incarceration, and if I may add, the time frames that they're saying that this incident happened, I was actually in the hospital because I lost my limb. I lost my hand. So there was like no way impossible I could have been incarcerated at that time. And as you can see, I lost it on frostbite around that time when it was the severe weather out there. So it's really, really impossible.
Have you ever lived in Kansas?
Yes, I was working out in Kansas. I was working in Kansas for a couple of months, which I have really good family out there too.
You know, this.
And
he tells me he was never in Topeka, Your Honor.
Yeah, I never stepped in. I don't even know where Topeka. I know where Topeka's at. It's supposed to be like the capital or Wichita, but I've never stepped foot in Topeka. So, if I made a
What's your birth date?
My date of birth is 9/27 of 1982. My social security is 5.
Don't tell your social.
Well, yeah, and actually, what may be happening to you is that someone took your identity.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I've already had that happen, and maybe like a year or so, I crossed the international border, and they were telling me that I had an arson coming out of that same city, which was not me. They checked my fingerprints, my backgrounds, the U.S. Customs, and it all came out that it wasn't me.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez, let me tell you what we're going to do. And we're going to get this resolved before Friday. We're going to make sure that the jail gets, well, they need the warrant, which they don't have, but some kind of picture, I guess, identifying or fingerprints, because it may be and do you live in Mission, Texas now?
Mission, Texas? No, sir, I don't. I live here in Laredo, over here in the Heights on 1816 Garfield Street. I've been living there for the past
What about where were you born?
I was born in California, Los Angeles.
In Torrance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, look, date wise, we're gonna reset your case in 7 days, but I'm on jail duty all this week and including the weekends.
Judge, if I may,
Yes,
I just talked to Lieutenant Vera,
yeah,
and he's gonna check on the fingerprints and the picture tomorrow. And he said if Mr. Ramirez would have told him this today when he spoke to him, he would have checked into it today. The reason there's no warrant in there is because it's a parole violation.
But there's usually a warrant with parole violations as well.
Well, that's what he just told me that, but he's gonna check into tomorrow.
so you've never done federal or state time?
No, sir.
Not in Kansas? Yeah,
No, sir.
you may have someone using your identity.
Yes, because yeah, there were several when I got booked in, they booked me in. If I may, when I guess they had confused me with some, I don't want to put names or anything like that, but some guy, you know, like using my name, Spider, or I don't know who it was, but I was booked like maybe twice or 3 times over in Kansas for the same situation that I was at that subscription, I was that suspect. But once I got into the county, they took pictures of me, they let me go, and then I was on my way. A couple of weeks later, I get pulled over another
How much do you weigh?
I weigh right now 160, 162, 170.
And how tall are you? Do you know?
I'm 6'1".
Well, this guy has 6'1" also, and he weighs 200 pounds.
Yeah, I weigh 160, 160,
Well, I mean,
165.
that's not going to be enough, but it's some indication. Yeah, well, you're 185, according to.
Good
Yeah,
record.
okay. So look, you know, Mr. Ramirez, we should have this resolved tomorrow.
All right.
Yes, Judge, once we have the info, we can just set it up again in the afternoon.
Okay, and
Right?
yeah. Okay, then Judge Lopez can hear it in the afternoon. Okay, Mr. Ramirez, we're gonna get to the bottom of this. You know, I was the one that arraigned you.
Yes, you did, sir.
You know, most of the time there's some interaction. I mean, I usually talk
Yes.
to a lot of the folks. If you'd have mentioned something, I mean,
I'm being as patient.
okay.
I'm really
Well, I
patient.
appreciate that. I remember seeing your hand. I was there in person.
Yeah.
I wish you would have told me something. I hate to think that I'm not approachable.
See, that's what if I may interrupt a little bit, that's even what the officer was telling me, because she says that she wasn't for sure, and it was like coming back that it was just like a possible, but they're possible, and it's like their system. So she had no choice but to hold me. If not, she wouldn't let me go.
Okay.
But I mean, I have my valid driver's license.
All right, let me talk to the other folks, and you'll be hearing either from me or Judge Lopez in the next 2 days. Okay? All right. All right. Just sit tight there, Mr. Ramirez. And Mr. Trevino, what about the other two?
Your Honor, they've advised me that they wish to waive extradition and they want to get back as soon as possible.
Okay. So let me just go through what I need to tell
And
them.
they do need an interpreter.
Yes, Mr. Juarez is still. I'm gonna kind of go through this with both cases at the same time, Mr. Trevino, if you don't, any objections to that?
No objections, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Is it, you misspelled that name? Javier Lorenzano Ferricano? And Mr. Romaldo Esparza de Leon. Good afternoon.
Señor Javienzo Lorenzano Cercano y Romualdo Esparza de León. Buenas tardes.
Mr. Fercano, you were arrested and I think it was also me and you were informed that there was an arrest warrant pending in the state of New York. And for you, Mr. De Leon, an arrest warrant out of the state of Kentucky.
Señor Cercano, supongo que ya sabe que hay una orden de arresto en su contra en el estado de Nueva York. Hay una orden de detención en su contra. Y señor De León, usted tiene una orden de detención del estado de Kentucky.
Now, you should have been advised that for you, Mr. Fercano, that the pending charge in the state of New York involves several vehicular violations, but the more pressing one was vehicular manslaughter.
Señor, seguramente ya le avisaron o le informaron que sus acusaciones pendientes allá en Nueva York tienen que ver con violaciones de las leyes que regulan el tráfico vehicular. Pero la más grave de todas ellas es una acusación por homicidio involuntario.
And for you, Mr. De Leon, I remember you also in the state of Kentucky, you have a marijuana trafficking charge, a felony charge.
Señor De León, en el caso de usted tiene una acusación por delito grave por tráfico de marihuana.
Now, your attorney is telling me that you both are going to waive extradition, and that means that you're going to give the state of Texas permission to send you as soon as possible to New York and Kentucky.
Su abogado, el señor, me acaba de decir de que ambos han rechazado el derecho están de acuerdo, por así decirlo, están de acuerdo en que el estado de Texas los pueda enviar a esos estados, a Nueva York y a Kentucky. Yes.
Now, even though you're doing that, the governors from those states still have to send us a warrant, a governor's warrant, within 30 days of your arrest.
No obstante que ustedes están de acuerdo con su extradición, de todos modos tenemos que esperar a que los gobernadores de esos estados emitan formalmente una orden, una solicitud para extraditarlos, que se tiene que hacer en un plazo no mayor de 30 días.
If they don't do that, then after those 30 days, you will come back to a judge here in Webb County to see if there's a bond that we can place on you.
Si ellos no emiten esa orden, esa solicitud de extradición en un plazo de 30 días, entonces ustedes volverán a comparecer ante un juez y se celebrará una audiencia para ver si ustedes pueden salir bajo fianza.
For you, Mr. De Leon, you already have a bond from the state of Kentucky of $25,000.
Usted, el señor De León, usted ya tiene una libertad condicional o libertad bajo fianza del estado de Kentucky por $25,000.
I remember I explained to that you could post that bond in Kentucky and you could be released.
Recuerdo que yo le expliqué a usted que si quisiera, usted podría pagar esa fianza y podrían liberarlo.
The state of Texas will not decide whether or not you actually did any of these crimes, and this is for both of you.
El estado de Texas no va a decidir, no va a determinar si ustedes dos son culpables de los delitos por los cuales los acusan a ustedes.
The only thing we get to decide is whether or not you're actually the person they're looking for, and there is a crime that they're accusing you of in that state.
Lo único que puede decidir el estado de Texas es si ustedes son esas personas que ellos están buscando y si en efecto hay un crimen por el cual se les podría acusar.
Only the state of New York and the state of Kentucky can decide your guilt or innocence on those charges.
Pero solo los estados de Kentucky y de Nueva York son los que pueden determinar si ustedes son culpables de esos delitos. Solamente ellos pueden decidir si ustedes son culpables o inocentes.
Your attorney is telling me that you're going to waive the extradition, but I'm going to ask you that question here in a little bit.
Su abogado me acaba de informar que ustedes están renunciando al derecho a una extradición formal, pero de todos modos se los voy a preguntar ahorita aquí en el juzgado.
You can fight extradition, and that process can take up to an additional 90 days.
Ustedes, si lo quisieran, podrían contender, impugnar o pelear esta extradición, pero eso agregaría hasta 90 días más al proceso.
During which you can be spent here in jail.
Y ese tiempo lo podrían pasar allí en la cárcel.
So, Mr. Javier Lorenzano Fercano, do you wish to waive extradition?
Señor Javier Lorenzano Farcano, ¿quiere usted renunciar al derecho a pelear su extradición?
Sí.
Yes.
I'm signing that order right now. The sheriff is going to present you that document in sometime today or tomorrow morning for you to sign, okay?
Estoy firmando ese documento y en el día de hoy el sheriff o alguien más probablemente le va a presentar ese documento para que usted lo firme hoy.
Sí.
Ok.
The order is both in English and in Spanish.
Esta orden o mandamiento judicial está en inglés y en español.
And Mr. Romualdo Esparza de León, do you wish to waive extradition?
Señor Esparza de León, usted también quiere pelear el derecho, usted también quiere renunciar al derecho a pelear esta extradición? Yes.
And I'm signing that order as well.
También estoy firmando esa orden.
I'm going to assure you here on the record that the forms you are signing is not an admission of guilt.
Les quiero asegurar aquí, y quiero que conste en las actas, que este documento no es una admisión de culpa.
It is only permission for us to send you as fast as possible to the states indicated.
Solamente es un permiso para que es un permiso que nos dan ustedes para que los podamos extraditar a esos estados donde los necesitan.
Do either one of you have any questions then?
Ahora les pregunto yo si tienen alguna pregunta. ¿No tienen alguna pregunta?
No.
No.
Good luck. Buena suerte a los dos. And we'll be talking to you, Mr. Ramirez.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. I'm gonna leave the files with Alma. She'll know who to turn them over to.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Trevino.
See you,
Bye,
Judge.
Fred.
Yes.
Fred.
Yes.
Don't go. Are we doing a plea on that guy that you set up for trial on the 9th?
I think we're gonna do
Thank you, Mr. Juarez. You're free to go, Mr. Juarez. Thank you.
Yes, the last time I spoke with him on the phone, he said yes, he'd already signed the plea agreement, but I haven't, the numbers I have aren't working for him, so I left a message at one number. I'm hoping he calls me back,
Okay, yeah,
but I haven't
that'll
been able
work.
to contact him. But yeah, as soon as I can contact him, I'll be able to try and set up an earlier plea date.
Yeah, because we have Blunson the week before, and according to them yesterday, it's gonna continue that following week, which is the week you were set
Yeah,
up for
I think
trial.
it would just be a plea.
Okay, alrighty. Okie dokie, bye.
Bye, Fred.
Bye.